You can measure the size of an elephant. You can clock the speed of a cheetah, but you can't quantify the heart of a kings, queens, and in-betweens. Welcome to Dr. Boxing Talk. Stream starts now.
The champ is here! 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 The champ is here!
If I tell you I'm good, probably you will say I'm boasting. If I tell you I'm no good, you know one line.
Yo, what it do, my bad. My bad, we are here, man. Let's get it. On this great, grand, wonderful Friday, man. You know, we are here. God bless us to see another day. You know, so we grateful. We always supposed to be grateful, you know. It just happens to be 4th of July, Independence Day, so happy 4th of July to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it, man. Good, great, grand morning to y'all wonderful, beautiful people, man. My brothers and sisters, brethren and sisters, hermanos, mi hermanas, boys and girls, ladies and lads, kings and queens, and everything in between. Y'all know what time it is. The doctor's in the house. Let's get it, man. Let's get it. We are here. Don't forget to smack that like button for your boy. Don't forget to smack that like button for your boy. You should already do that as soon as you step in this piece. Like my boy Ty say. You know what I'm saying? Smack that like and wipe your feet at the door. You feel me? Let's get right, man. Let's hit this roll call real quick. Hit this roll call. In a second, let me set up my green screen. All right, we here, man. Let's hit this roll call, man. Yo. I'm saying we got my brother, my partner, my pal. We got Ty Morissette, big member in the building. Yes, sir. We got Slim Reaper in the building. Good morning, my brother. Good morning. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got a couple things to talk about, man. I know y'all heard the news, man. Y'all heard the news. We about to get to it. We are about to get to it. But we ain't going to start off there, man. You know where we start off. We got to start off at the same place we always start off, man. And that's with God. So please join me and bow your heads. Let's thank the Most High. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for waking us up this morning. We thank you for letting us see another July, a 4th of July, and we hope that we bring it in with not just fireworks, but also appreciation and gratefulness and thankfulness towards you and your protection and your direction and your correction that you give us every day. And the ones that even go unnoticed, the times that we don't even recognize what you're protecting us from, or the doors that you are closing or opening in order to make a new path, a more prosperous and righteous path for us to take. We want to thank you for all the blessings that go unnoticed. We want to thank you for all the favors and the gifts that go unnoticed, and we want to also thank you for your forgiveness for all our transgressions. And we ask you that we could move forward into this weekend in a safe manner, in a peaceful manner, in a happy manner, in a loving manner. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen, amen. He said, slap the like button, wipe your feet as you walk through the door, folks. The doctor is in the building. Let's get right. You already know that. Slap the like button and wipe your feet as you walk through the door. You feel me?
Yeah.
Folks, the doctor is in the building. Big salute, man. I appreciate that, bro. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it, man. Shout out to my guy, Ty, man. But you look, before we get started, bro, I want to show y'all this, man. I had this discussion with Ty already. And, and those of you that's been in the channel, you kind of already are familiar with this conversation. But I just want to show you this because I thought this was very interesting. It's just more so interesting. It's more like just reinforces what I was saying, man. And I think that this is awesome to hear it, So this is from David Morrell this morning. David Morrell tells The Ring that he isn't looking for the knockout against Imam Katayev. Let me read that again. David Morrell tells The Ring that he is not looking for the knockout against Imam Katayev and wants to use his skills he learned in Cuban boxing school. Let me read that again. He wants to use the skills, emphasis on the skills. He wants to use the skills he learned in the Cuban boxing ring, right? I'm not focused on getting a knockout every time. I want to use what I learned in the Cuban school of boxing. I don't want to attack for nothing. It's lost energy for nothing. Now, the reason why I want to show you this is because I also want to show you something else. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let me see if I can pull it up. Hopefully I have it. Man, hopefully I have it, man. I know I have it on my phone. I know I have it stored up. Here it is right here. I want to show you this. Now, this is what he's saying. That's what David Morrell's team's saying, right? Oh, by the way, if you don't follow me on Twitter, you have a Twitter, shame on you. Follow your boy on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Boxing Talk. Follow me on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Let's turn up. But anyway, I want to show you this, man. See, look, this dude right here, this dude's an idiot. He said, I want to be boring isn't a great selling point for the fight. So people when they hear that you want to use your skills, they hear boring, because that's what we're changing boxing into. We're changing boxing into rock'em sock'em boppers. But anyway, one team has said that they want to use their skills, their superior skills, their Cuban skills, right? That they learned, that they acquired, that they worked on, that they cultivated. This guy is the other team who he's fighting, Imam Katayev. This is Jim Cambosa's father, who is the manager of Imam Katayev. This is what Imam Katayev's team is saying about the upcoming fight. Check it out and listen.
He's fighting David Morrell on July the 12th. But I tell you what, I agree with His Excellency, because that ring now has been reduced to 18 foot. It ain't a 20-foot ring. Yeah. Because guess what? We all want to see fighters fight. And I'm really happy that ring now for July 12th is an 18 by 18 ring, internal, inside the ropes. Yes. That's going to make guys fight, not want to run. We're down to 18 foot ring now. Absolutely. I'm really happy about that because my guy is a pressure guy. I'm really happy about that because my guy is a pressure guy.
And that's exactly why Imam Katayev is going to lose. Before I go there, before I continue, right? I know he has a heavy Australian Aussie accent, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my brethren and sister down there, the good ones, you know what I'm saying? Down there, my Aussie brethren, you know, he has a strong accent. So basically what he's saying is that he's happy to hear that Turkey has this no running rule and this and banning the Tom and Jerry antics, and he wants to make the ring a 18 by 18 foot, 18 by 18 is 18 by 18 foot ring. So he wants to make the ring smaller. That's what he's focused on. So let's run it back again. Now that you know what he's saying, let's listen one more time.
July 12th is an 18 by 18 ring, internal, inside the ropes.
Yes.
That's going to make guys fight, not
Oh,
want
and
to run.
by the way, he might be shaking in his boots because that same 18 by 18 foot ring was actually denied by Hamza Shiraz, who is not Shakur Stevenson, who is not Edgar Berlanga, who is not David Morrell, but Hamza Shiraz, who is Turki Al-Sheikh's ring ambassador. That's the same night that he's fighting. So the ring won't be 18 by 18 because Hamza Shiraz, who's a boxer, denied that request and did not want it to be a small ring. Hamza Shiraz did that. Not Shakur Stevenson, who's the quote unquote runner. Not David Morrell, who practices the Cuban style running of boxing, like that dummy said. It was Turki Al-Sheikh's own fighter who did not want the ring to be reduced to 18 by 18. So it won't be. So I know that he's shaking in his boots, but let's keep it going.
18 and 18 foot ring now.
Absolutely.
I'm really happy about that because my guy is a pressure guy. I'm really happy about that because my guy is a pressure guy.
And that's exactly why Iman Katayev is going to lose. Because you don't think you have to make a complete fighter. You just think you could focus on your fighter's strengths. So when I tell people that, yo, there's no running rule, this thing there, people are saying that they want fighters to stand still or limit their movement, it's not for the betterment of boxing. It's for the betterment of your particular fighter because you have a pressure fighter and you think that it's advantageous for them to stand still and trade. And you don't focus on working on the fighter's weaknesses. You just want to focus on the fighter's strengths. And guess what? David Morrell's still going to kick Iman Katayev's ass because this is what happened when Iman Katayev fought Ben Whitaker, another slick fighter. You see it above. Yeah, that's what happened. He lost. So I'll have a question for you. Who is a slicker fighter? A, Ben Whitaker, or B, David Morrell? Trick question. It doesn't matter. The answer is C. It doesn't matter. They're both slick enough to put it on Iman Katayev because all he does is focus on pressure and power and coming forward. And his trainer doesn't want to do anything else to help him adapt in the fight when he faces somebody who's a complete fighter, like a David Morrell, like a Gervonta Tank Davis, like a Terrence Bud Crawford, like a Alexander Usyk. So when you have this mentality of, oh yeah, I'm going to make the ring smaller so Zepeda will do better against Shakur's still going to beat him. I don't care if it's 18 by 18, 12 by 12, or 5 by 5. It could be in a phone booth. Shakur's still going to win because they're complete fighters. They know how to adapt to any situation, just like David Morrell's still going to beat Iman Katayev. You know what I'm saying? And that's why Richard Sahich is going to beat your son, George Kambosos, because George Kambosos doesn't know how to adapt. Let me pause it. Did you hear what I said? I said this is why Richard Sahich is going to beat your son, George Kambosos. So this is before Richard Sahich even fought Kambosos. I made this video. I just want to let you know I'm not prognosticator doc. You know what I'm saying? I'm not oracle doc. I'm not clairvoyant doc, but I know a little something about boxing. You know what I'm saying? That's why I do what I do. You know what I'm saying? So I made this before Kambosos lost to Richard Sahich. Which I'm not saying that's a big deal because we knew Richard Sahich was going to win anyway. But the point is that Richard Sahich outboxed George Kambosos and stopped him. He didn't just stop him. He outboxed him as well while he stopped him. Because George Kambosos, what does he do? He's ferocious, but he's ferocious in one way, one dimension, one direction. Like the singing group. He doesn't know how to adapt. Let's keep it going. 12 by 12 or 5 by 5. It could be in a phone booth. Shakur's still going to win because they're complete fighters. They know how to adapt to any situation. Just like David Morrell's still going to beat Iman Katayev. You know what I'm saying? And that's why Richard Sahich is going to beat your son, George Kambosos, because George Kambosos doesn't know how to adapt, which is why he struggled against a subpar fighter in Jake Wiley on late notice. Y'all should be ashamed of your gosh dang self. So after these fighters lose with a small ring, prepare to make another excuse as to what you need to change in boxing to make it more interesting, aka make it more advantageous for your incomplete ass, goofy, one-dimensional fighter.
Absolutely.
I'm really happy about that because my guy is a pressure guy.
You're really happy about that because your guy's a pressure guy. Yeah, I'm sure you would want your fighters to box in power slap type rules and type confines and type settings. Yeah, we know. That's so stupid, bro. And I like Kambosos, you know what I'm saying? I have nothing against George Kambosos or Jim Kambosos, but I gotta call a duck, a rat, And a dummy, you know what I'm saying? I have no problem doing that. He said, I heard, yeah, shout out to Tate. He said, I heard enough. Throw George Kambosos to the 18 by 18 ring. Facts. Jim is cap. Facts. He thought it was going to be an 18 by 18 ring, but other names of the car wasn't agreeing to that goofy shit. Talk to him, Ty. Casuals called boxing running. Talk to him, Mr. Grandy. You know what it is. Great news. Coaches now don't have to worry about actually teaching their fighters to cut off the ring. Facts. You ain't got to worry about being a complete fighter. All you got to do is just go in there and try to play rock'em sock'em boppers, or gosh dang Neanderthal clubbing, or power slap, and you're gonna win, because it's not boxing anymore. It's called knockout kings. Because if you don't knock somebody out, then you're not trying to win, and you can't be successful in boxing. You know, it's not hit it, don't get hit. It's not the sweet science. It's not boxing. It's KO. It's KO kings. You know, if you don't get knockouts, and that's the thing, Mr. Grandy, and you know me, you've been around the stream long enough. You know my favorite fighters. Most of my favorite fighters are knockout artists, but that doesn't mean that I don't appreciate other styles. You see what I'm saying? Junto Nakatani is considered a knockout artist. Gervonta Tank Davis, definitely considered a knockout artist. Saul Canelo Alvarez, aka Cinnamon, definitely considered a knockout artist. Those are my 3 favorite fighters. But that doesn't mean I don't appreciate Dmitry Bivol, Shakur Stevenson, Lomachenko, David Morrell, or other guys that successfully box while implementing a different style. Why would you only like one style? It's like watching basketball and you see Shaq dominate in the post. So if you see Steph Curry shoot threes, that means Steph Curry's not an effective basketball player because he doesn't play like Shaq. Or Giannis, who plays in the post, oh, he doesn't shoot threes, so he's not a good basketball player because he doesn't shoot threes like Steph Curry. Why wouldn't you appreciate the different styles that are implemented and executed at a high level, and you still see them be successful? That's the whole point of having styles making fights, because contrasting styles usually make up the best fights. I don't want to see Gervonta Tank Davis stand toe-to-toe with Shakur Stevenson in the phone booth, because I already know that outcome. It's not interesting anymore. We know that Gervonta Tank Davis and anybody else that's around his weight class that stands in front of him, they're going to lose because he's a big puncher. But we want to see how Gervonta Tank Davis can handle the mobility and agility and the range manipulation of Shakur Stevenson. And just like Shakur Stevenson, I don't want to see him in the ring with another guy that's like Shakur Stevenson. I don't want to see 2 guys that do the same style. I want to see Shakur Stevenson and see how he can handle the traps that Gervonta Tank Davis sets, the pressure that Gervonta Tank Davis applies, the accurate pressure, and the punching power that Gervonta Tank Davis has. I want to see how they can handle each other's best attributes. That's why Beterbiev and Bivol are so interesting. It's not because Beterbiev and Bivol are both KO artists. It's not because they're both agile fighters. No, Dmitry Bivol has superior agility. He applies motion to his fights and manipulation, or what you want to call running. And then Beterbiev is a pressure KO king. So we want to see how they can handle each other's styles, respectively. But no, you just want to see your favorite fighter get put in the most advantageous position to make sure that they win because you think that that's your baby daddy. He's not your baby daddy. He don't even know you. Like, people act like they're dating these fighters, bro. You watching these fighters because they're superior athletes, or you watching them because you like the way that they comb their hair, or the girl that they're dating, or the house they live in, or the TikTok dances that they do? Why do you like these fighters, bro? I think it's very weird and it's very unbecoming of a grown man to be so infatuated with another man that you want to change the confines of the sport to make it so it's advantageous for the fighter that you like. That's weird, bro. I can't relate to that, bro. I don't relate to anybody who thinks like that. I don't care who you like. We like boxing different, you know. And that's why I know the people that come to my channel, they really like boxing. Because if you hear me talk, I don't care if you're a Tank fan or you're a Shakur fan or a Haney fan or a Lopez fan or a Garcia fan. I at least remain objective and keep the same energy, bro. I don't want to see Tank in a phone booth practicing close quarters combat the whole time. That's not why I like him. I like him because when somebody does try to circle around the ring like a Frank Martin, he knows how to cut them off and set traps, and he's very cerebral, and he has power, and he has other skills and attributes. He's a complete fighter. Same with Terrence Crawford, complete fighter. Saul Canelo Alvarez, even though people try to reduce him to a plotter, he's a complete fighter. Like, the fighters that I like are usually like complete fighters, you know what I'm saying? At least in my personal opinion. You know, I like other fighters as well, you know, and there's I'm not saying that I only like the best fighters. You know, I like Esau Pitbull Cruz. I like Caleb Plant. There's so many fighters that I like, you know, but it's never about what they do outside of the ring. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's something good, you know, altruistic, like helping the community or something. But I don't care what kind of designer clothes you're wearing or what kind of car you drive. These dudes are weird, bro. Like, it's like, I don't know if you want to watch them fight or you want to date them. Like, I promise you, they need to be grown men too. I'm talking about grown men in their 30s, 40s, 20s. Come on, bro. You over here liking these fighters like you want to match with them on Tinder or something. Like, that joke is crazy to me. But anyway, let's keep it going, man. Chef Curry with the pot. Chef Curry with the pot, boy. 360 with the wrist, boy. Robert Garcia, did he take notes on how his fighters can cut off the ring? That's a fact, and that's what I said. And people got mad at me, and some people respected it too. Shout out to Ty and you know what I'm saying, and others that gave me positive feedback on it. But yeah, when we talked about Devin Haney, bro, I like boxing, bro. I'm a boxing fan. I'm a pugilist enthusiast, so I'm not oblivious to entertainment. Of course, I think that Devin Haney versus Jose Carlos Ramirez was a boring fight. That was not entertaining at all. However, I could still see beyond that and recognize that your first priority, second priority, and your third priority should be to win, and win again. You know what I'm saying? So it's not to entertain. Is it going to be entertaining in the process? It should be, and it could be, and we hope it is, but that's not the priority. The priority is to is to implement a game plan in training camp and execute that game plan and make sure that you come out victorious. That's the whole point. So regardless if you like the fight or not, Devin Haney, you cannot deny, unless you are an emotional sour-faced bitch, you cannot deny that what Devin Haney did was masterful. Because Jose Carlos Ramirez had no answer. While Jose Carlos Ramirez being a former unified champion, while also being an Olympian, while also having the trainer of the year in Robert Garcia in his corner, they could not figure out how to effectively cut off the ring and track down Devin Haney. That's all it takes to beat those three things: a former Olympian, a unified champion, and a current trainer of the year, future Hall of Famer as far as training goes. You tell me that team couldn't figure out how to cut off the ring? No, I'll tell you what it was. They saw Ryan Garcia, PED popping lying races behind, put damage on Devin Haney, and they figured, oh, all we have to do is go in there and hit him because his chin is weak. They were saying it throughout the whole buildup. Oh yeah, well, not really Jose Carlos Ramirez. He was showing respect. Shout out to Jose Carlos Ramirez. I like him. But Robert Garcia, Oscar De La Hoya, their promoter, was saying the whole time, oh, we just got to go and hit him because we know he can't take a punch. That was your game plan? At the highest level of the sport, that was your game plan? That's it? Just go in there and hit him? That doesn't sound like anything that a bum couldn't tell me off the street. Oh, you're boxing? Well, just go in there and go hit him, doc. just go in there and punch him on the chin, doc. Anybody can say that. You're not going to try to implement or draw up a game plan? We're not going to coach at all? We're not going to train at all? We're not going to hit the drawing board at all? We're not going to work on nothing at all? So we know that this guy has a weak chin, and we're just going to go in this fight and expect him to stand in front of us? Why wouldn't you expect Devin Haney to be evasive? If you just recognized and acknowledged and admitted to the world that you know his chin is weak. So if you know that, you don't think Devin Haney knows that? So why would you think he's going to stand there in the middle of the ring and trade with you? You fucking dumbass. And then you want to have the audacity to blame the fighter for being successful winning, and you couldn't adapt. Come on, bro. Let's tell the whole story now. I'm not saying it was entertaining, but you got to admit, Jose Carlos Ramirez, I gave him one round, and I was being generous. I scored it 11 rounds to 1. I was being generous. It was really a wash. You should be ashamed of your gosh dang self. I wouldn't have went in there and got washed. No, baby. Low key, Robert Garcia is an average coach. He just gets clout of his high profile, rock'em sock'em type fighters. I do like Robert Garcia, so I disagree there with Ty. But, you know, I do think Robert Garcia is a good trainer. You know, I respect what he did with Rayo and Pitbull. You know, his Rayo fight when he watched Pitbull. Hey, he had Rayo boxing out of his mind, you know. And you know, and I like Mikey Garcia. But I will say, maybe I'm a little biased too. You know, I'm not mad at anybody who comes from the perspective that Robert Garcia may be a little overrated. It's kind of like Steve Kerr. No disrespect to Steve Kerr. I give Steve Kerr his props because I think it takes a special person to manage the multiple personalities of men. You know what I'm saying? So to lead men, I think is good. I think that's something that's commendable, and the fact that he didn't go in there after Mark Jackson essentially made the team and mess things up. So I got to give him credit for at least not messing it up, and they had some victories. But if someone said, "Hey man, Steve Kerr is just successful with a team that he didn't build, and anybody can be successful with those all-time great players," I understand that perspective as well. You know, I won't immediately shoot that down, but I might slightly disagree. I think Steve Kerr is a good coach, but I do compare him to Robert Garcia, like Ty is saying, you know what I'm saying? Because I think Robert Garcia could slightly be viewed as overrated because of the styles of fighters that he has. He doesn't really have a dynamic stable, you know. But however, I still respect it because I think it means something to have so many champions in your stable, and a lot of times he has a lot of champions in his stable simultaneously. You know what I'm saying? So I got to give him credit, but I'm not mad at Ty's assessment at all. You know what I'm saying? If that's how he feels. Shout out to Ryan Frazier, Boxing Talk up north. Big mouth in the building. He said Robert is a better coach than Reynoso. Ooh, no PEDs in the camp. Hey, Ryan, come on now. Ryan preaching now, chat. He said Bam and Virgil also. Yep, Robert is a better coach than Reynoso in my opinion. No PEDs in the camp. Oh, Lord, now you out here snitching. He out here snitching, chat.
All right, I'm putting cases on all you bitches.
He out here snitching, chat. But for real, I mean, yeah, you got to factor that in as well, man. Ryan Frazier, Boxing Talk up north, always makes good points, and he didn't let me down right here. Another great point. No PEDs in the camp. We need to commend that. We need to applaud that. Like I said, I'm not saying necessarily that it's Reynoso's fault, but you know my stance on that. I think whenever a fighter pops dirty, I know some people disagree with me. They might say I'm a little harsh, but hey, man, you got to get the job done. You got to make the point clear. You know what I'm saying? And emphasize it. If your fighter pops dirty, not only should they get suspended for a minimum of 2 years, I think the trainer should be suspended and the promoter should be fined at least. I think personally the promoter should be suspended for 6 months. You know what I'm saying? He can't promote another fight for at least 6 months, and they should have to offer up a forfeiture of their purse. The trainer, I think that they should at least get a year to 6 months, and that doesn't mean it has to be a full ban. That doesn't mean that they can't train, but they on the fight night, the night of the fight. So Reynoso, for example, he can't show up in Canelo's corner. Nah, you can't be there fight night, bro. Because you violated. Because even if you didn't give the fighters the drugs or the PEDs and the banned substances, you were negligent. And as an adult, negligence is never okay. You know what I'm saying? It's never dismissible. You see what I'm saying? You try to leave your dogs in the car and they mess around and something happened to them. You're gonna go to jail for negligence. You didn't kill the dogs. You didn't put them in the car. You didn't have the pool open and have your kid fall into it, God forbid. But if something happens to that child under your supervision, you're going to get punished for negligence, and you should. So if you're a trainer and you have Louis Neary affiliated with your camp, you have Ryan Garcia affiliated with your camp, he might not be your trainer directly, but he's affiliated with the coach, because Derek James was his trainer, but he's affiliated with the camp. You have Julio Cesar Martinez affiliated with your camp. You have Canelo, who successfully proved his innocence by contamination via court, but he's still affiliated with your camp. You have Jaime Munguia, most recently popped dirty, affiliated with your camp. You have Oscar Valdez. Do I need to keep going? These are all fighters that are affiliated with Reynoso's camp. So, I mean, you know, where there's smoke, there's fire, baby. Where there's smoke, there's fire. You see what I'm saying? And that thing is ablaze. I'm talking about napalm. I'm talking about California dry bush forest fire. You feel me? So yeah, man, I think Reynoso needs to be punished. I still think he's a good trainer, but you know, I will admit that I like Cinnamon. That's one of my favorite fighters. So of course, by default, I'm gonna like Reynoso, but he looks suspicious, so he should be punished. Absolutely. That gym should be shut down and investigated. Absolutely. Thoroughly, meticulously, diligently. Facts. You know what I'm saying? I ain't forget Madrimov watching Virgil the first half of the fight because he couldn't cut off the ring and have terrible feet work. Facts. Shout out to Madrimov. I still think he could bounce back. We'll see. He said, my guy Dub, big member in the building. He said Haney threw over 200 punches, landed like 50 power shots. Ramirez threw over 280 and barely landed 17. Come on now. How on earth could Haney be considered a runner if he outlanded his opponent? Why? Not only did he outland his opponent, Mr. Grandy, Haney, go look at the copy box. It's not me making it up. There's documentation to prove it. Haney not only outlanded his opponent Ramirez, he outlanded Ryan Garcia and Rolly Romero. No one said those fights were boring though. Come on now, it's a smear campaign, and this is coming from somebody I don't even like. And I know I got Trill Bill on my emote. I'm not a big Haney fan, bro. You see what I'm saying? You know, if I'm gonna be a fan of anybody, it will be Canelo, Tank, and Junto. You see what I'm saying? So it's just I'm not here to bash or smear people. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's a smear campaign on Devin Haney. It's almost criminal, bro. It's disgusting. But whether you like somebody or not, bro, you know, I don't like Teofimo Ryan Garcia. I'm not on a smear campaign of them. I don't say anything that's not true. You know what I'm saying? That both of them are racist, ignorant pieces of shit. That's all I say. Off of stuff that they said. You feel me? And cheater. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the cheater, the racist, incompetent, ignorant cheater Ryan Garcia. Shout out to him.
We do not let people who are on the juice discuss real athletes. That's all.
All right, man. But so let's move on, man. I want to say this also before we get to the main topic, man. Also, too, I wanted to say this too. You know, we have the Benavidez and Yard camp the best camp. We have the Benavidez and Yard fight being announced in Riyadh in November, and on the same card is going to be Devin Haney versus Brian Norman. Brian Norman will be defending his WBO welterweight title against Devin Haney, man. That's gonna be a dope fight, man. Norman versus Haney. Once again, salute to Haney. You know what I'm saying? Salute to Haney for taking on this fight against a dangerous opponent, and salute to Brian Norman because he will be definitively fighting the best opponent he's ever fought. So big salute to both these gentlemen stepping up and bringing us great fights that we want to see. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to both. Shout out to all these fighters, man. Shout out to these fighters doing their thing. You feel me? And actually fighting. You know, we got to give credit where credit is due. And not to mention, in addition to that, what's great about that is that on the same card, Abdullah Mason and Sam Noakes will be fighting for the WBO title in the 135 pound division. You know, the vacant title that Keyshawn Davis gave up, you know, to seemingly move to 140. Abdullah Mason, who's ranked number 2, and Sam Noakes, who's ranked number 1 in the WBO rankings at 135. They will be fighting for that title as well. So that card is stacked, man. That card is freaking fire already. We not even close to November. God bless us with the day that, you know what I'm saying, bless us with enough life and strength to see the day. Ooh, that fight's gonna be great. Bombs on them. You know what I'm saying? You ever heard that song Bombs Over Baghdad? Remember that song by Andre 3K and Big Boy by Outkast? Bombs Over Baghdad. We got bombs over Riyadh. You feel me? We got bombs over Riyadh with this one. And I also want to say too, man, you know, I don't really watch wrestling like that, but shame on Saudi Arabia and Riyadh and their reaction and response to some of our women, man. When I say our women, I'm talking about women, period, but specifically American women of the darker complexion, man. You know, their reception of them is disgusting, it's terrible, and should be reprimanded. I don't know if y'all ever watched soccer and FIFA, but you remember how they had to go and they had to regulate and stop fans from being racist and insensitive and discriminatory. I think they need to implement the same rules down there in Saudi Arabia, because it's cool if that's your custom and that's your culture to not respect certain people because of how they look or their gender or what they talk like or how they appear. That's cool, but you cannot also simultaneously invite sporting events where people that match those descriptions are involved just for them to be mistreated. You see what I'm saying? What they did to Jade Cargill was disgusting. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all ever watched it, but if you ever go check out the clip and stuff like that, booing her and cursing out her and calling her all types of racist names. Not just her, other women as well. But she won, so she received the blunt of it. You know what I'm saying? The brunt of it. So yeah, I think that needs to be changed, or they just can't have sporting events. And I don't care if it's boxing too, by everything. You feel me? Yeah, we got to demand more of these people. It's not just about having money and putting on shows. You know, and there's a responsibility to ensure the safety and the fair treatment of all that are involved, especially the athletes. You see what I'm saying? That's why I don't go places, because I'd have been swung on a bitch. I ain't gonna lie. I'd have swung on a bitch already. You feel me? But that's why I can't. That's why I gotta stay in my house. You know what I'm saying? Go to the grocery store, go to the park. I done slapped the hoe. Yeah, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. But anyway, let's keep it going. I want to show you this, man. So shout out to Abdullah Mason and Sam Noakes. They will be on the undercard of Benavidez versus Yard and Norman versus Haney. They haven't really announced which one's going to be the headline. I would assume that the headline would be Norman and Haney, but I have a weird feeling that it'll be Benavidez and Yard, which I'm not mad at. It doesn't matter to me. As long as they're on the same card, I don't have any complaints. But we know that Abdullah Mason versus Sam Noakes will be on the undercard, man. So shout out to them. Jade Cargill is my glorious queen. Talk to him, Ty. Talk to him, Ty. You know, my cousin that you spoke with about wrestling, he loves Jade Cargill as well, you know. Obsessively too. I gotta check him sometime, but hold on, bro. You married to my cousin now. Don't get ran down on. Nah, I'm playing. But yeah. So speaking of Abdullah Mason, though, man, we have a sparring link, chat. And you know me. Before we get to the sparring link, you know me, man. I recognize the age that we live in. You know, we live in a different era where social media is king, queen, and all some most things. You know what I'm saying? Oh, she's Jamaican? I didn't know she's Jamaican. Box side. I didn't know Jade Cargill, because you all don't really keep up with wrestling like that. She's Jamaican? Hey, hold on now. Oh, I like her more now too. Hold on now. I ain't know she's Jamaican now. Oh, she not Jamaican. She a real Jamaican? Hey, shout out to her, man. I didn't know she was Jamaican. Me blood clot. But you know me, man. I don't really like the releasing or the leaking of sparring. You know me being a former amateur boxer and stuff like that. I've always was brought up in the era of you don't talk about it, you be about it. You know what I'm saying? You You know, what goes on in the gym is like Vegas. You know, what goes on in Vegas stays in Vegas. Well, you apply the same sentiment to the gym. You know, what goes on in the gym stays in the gym. Now, you record for training purposes to see where your weaknesses are and your vulnerabilities are, where you can improve and see what you've done well. That's why you record. You don't record and release it on social media. But I know we live in a different era, and, you know, people want to get cloud or whatever it is that you're chasing. You know, cool. You know, you want to build your following, cool. But this is the, so I don't necessarily approve of the sparring leagues, but this is where I make an exception. I think whenever you got to check somebody or make sure that they're not lying or lying on you more specifically, I approve these sparring leagues, because now it's for a purpose. Now it's to prove your innocence. Now it's to prove that this person is capping on my name, you know? So this is what we have. We have a sparring league that was released last night, and I was gonna do a pop-up stream, but I said, nah, we gonna save it for the morning. We gonna save it for the morning, and thank God we are here. We made it to this morning, because we gonna talk about it right now. So we have Abdullah Mason and Floyd Schofield, man. They are sparring, and I want to be very clear though. The reason why I approve of this was because Floyd Schofield Sr., Floyd Schofield Sr., according to him, he done whooped everybody in sparring. He done whooped Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Gervonta Tank Davis, Abdullah Mason, William Zepeda. He done whooped everybody in sparring. You know what I'm saying? Jojo Diaz. He done whooped everybody. You know, he's undefeated in sparring. And so, which is cool. You know, that's cool. But the way you talk about it, like you just a sparring king, and then you had a fight with Abdullah Mason, potentially on the table, and you turned it down. Cool. You know what I'm saying? You wanted to go to another route for more money or a more secure deal. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. You know, that's your business. But you're still telling these stories. You feel me? You're talking all this stuff about being able to whoop everybody. You get a fight with Shakur Stevenson. You said you were sick. Cool. You drop out the fight, but you're still telling these stories. So now one of these stories caught up to you, and what goes on in the dark does come to light. And this thing has came to light. Let's check it out. So right here, this is Kid Austin taking one right to the face. Pause. And this is Abdullah Mason in the black. Let's keep it going. I'm not gonna lie. See, like this one here, it's not really too much of a punch. It's more of like a get off me. The second one, that's more of like, it's not really a punch. They count as, but it's more like a get off me. You know what I'm saying? Trying to create space. More like a mush. It wasn't really a punch. Said, don't worry about that jab, and he got jabbed right in the face. Sounded like Teofimo Lopez Sr. My son don't need a jab. And then he goes and fights Gervonta Ortiz, and he could have used a jab.
Ali, bro. You hear me, Abdullah? Huh? All right, cool.
Abdullah, make him switch back, Abdullah.
My son was working Abdullah Mason. Ask him. They'll tell you. Granny Skull. Oh, man.
Good. Nice. Yup, leave it out there like that. Yup. To the stomach,
He just getting clapped, bro.
Ali. You see him?
So I kind of watched it. I watched it multiple times, so I kind of almost have it memorized. So he's about to fall pretty soon. He said they slightly getting ahead of sparring #1 pound for pound champion. Yeah. Hey, Kevin Johnson's a sparring king.
There you go.
He just leaning back on that back leg.
That's what they do.
Here comes a fall.
Thank you. Ooh.
It wasn't really a knockdown. And once again, you know, it's a. I mean, I think if this was a fight, that would have counted as a knockdown. I think, depending on the ref. But it wasn't really. It was more. Once again, it's more of like a mush more than a punch. Like a get off me, give me some space.
Thank you.
And then he fell. You know. So it would have counted as a knockdown. I think. By some refs. You know, I think some refs wouldn't have counted it.
Good. Take away that jab like you do. You got it. Keep fresh.
Salute to Mickey Bay. Yep. Hey, Oscar in the building. What's good, brethren? He needs some milk. Yeah, I think Abdullah Mason is definitely a more well-rounded fighter. But I have an assessment I want to make too. You know me. Good defense though, for real.
Hook off the jab, straight left. Hook off that jab. Beautiful.
It just looks like Schofield can't do anything.
There you go.
That running shit I'm saying, that running in. Hands up.
Nice jab again. Mean jab. You see, hey, look, you saw that right there, right? This is what I don't like. Look right here, chat. Kid Austin just touched him right there. And I think that all of us would agree that Kid Austin is a stronger puncher than Abdullah Mason, right? I would think so. I mean, we don't know for sure. But right there, Kid Austin just landed. Kid Austin lands right here clearly. Dang it, bro. He lands right there clearly, right? And they don't make a noise. They don't make a ding or a dong. They don't make a noise to register his punch. And I don't like that because that lets me know that whoever made this is pro Mason. And I'm not really for that. You know, you should be counting all the points, you know. And I know it's cool because Schofield is an easy, dislikable guy. You know, it's easy not to like him. He's very unlikable. But at the same time, you should be fair because I think Kid Austin's a good kid and, you know what I'm saying, and a good fighter. So you got to be fair, man, and unbiased and impartial. And this lets you know that they're not being impartial at all. This is definitely a pro Mason, or even if it's not pro Mason, it's anti Schofield, you know.
Low, get low. Keep it out here, chat. Let me get some of that body now.
Let me get some of that body. Let me get some of that body shots. And not all one. Yeah. Dig to that body. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, he did it beautiful. Beautiful.
Tried to go to the body, got clipped. That might have been a knockdown right there too with that little sharp right hook. You saw the dude right here. The dude right here went crazy. The dude that was standing right here went crazy after that shot.
All right, stay calm, relax.
10 seconds.
Oh man, that's too funny, bro. That's too funny. Use that power. Use that power. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So no. Okay. So now this is time for me to give my opinion. Blaze said pound for pound. He agrees with me. Blaze pound for pound TV said this is clearly a pro Mason edit. Facts. You know what I'm saying? I think it's clearly, you know, and I don't mind it, you know, but you know, let's at least be fair to the fighters. You know, they're in there punching and getting punched on. Shout out to my guy Oscar in the building. This was a marketing move right before the fight announcement. Yeah, but I'm not going to blame it on Mason's team. You know, you never know who could have released it. I would think it was a Mason affiliated person, but I don't want to put that on Team Mason. You know, it could be somebody that's recording for them and not exactly with their team, and they let it out. You know what I'm saying? But it definitely looks like what Ryan is saying, but I don't want to assume that off the rip. Shout out to Ty. He said, let me get you some what? Yeah, we gonna pause that. No Diddy. Hold on now. I don't know what I said.
No Diddy.
Yeah, we gonna pause that. But yeah, so shout out to Ty. He said this is the Kid Austin that I worked with. Facts, you know, I bet. He said salute Mickey Bay for the teaching Mason. Yes, sir. Tevin Farmer has left the chat, bro. No, don't do him like that, bro. Don't do him like that.
What do you mean by that?
Don't do Tevin Farmer like that. Damn, Kid gets off balance a bit. He does. You know, he lunges in. You know, Kid Austin doesn't punch harder than Mason. I would think Kid Austin punches harder than Mason. I don't. That doesn't mean he's more accurate or a better puncher. I think you got to know what the difference is. I don't see Abdullah Mason doing what Schofield did to Farmer. I don't see him doing like that. I think just from the fights that I've seen, I think that Schofield does punch harder than Mason. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know. You know, the only way we'll find out is if they do like a punching, little punching bag thing where it tracks their power. But now, you know, but punching, if you know boxing, it's not just about power, raw power. It's about also accuracy and timing, right? So I think Abdullah Mason is a more refined fighter, a sharper fighter, so he has better timing and precision and accuracy and all that good stuff and bonbons, combinations, all that. But as far as one-shot power, absolutely, I think Kid Austin. But I could be wrong, but I think Kid Austin has more power. I don't even know why would you think otherwise, unless you just don't like Kid Austin, you know. I mean, unless you could tell me why you would think otherwise, and I'm open to hear it. But yeah, I disagree. I think one punch power. I think Kid Austin has more. Yeah. He said, but yeah, I think Kid Austin does lunge forward quite a bit. But I will say this though, you know, so usually in sparring, and anybody who's sparred before can attest to this, you know, shout out to Ty as well. I know he spars. And I know Ryan is in boxing gym and stuff. When you're sparring, you're usually working on something. Shout out to Pat Bandero in the building, man, my guy. Big member in the building. When you're sparring, you're usually working on something. And so that's why I take sparring with a grain of salt, because I know, like, if I sparred, you know, when I sparred, you know, the 9 times out of 10, I'm working on something. Either I'm working on my defense, I'm working on my evasion, I'm working on my footwork, I'm working on my jab. It's very few times that I've been in the sparring ring and my trainer It's just said, hey man, just go in there and just spar and work. You know what I'm saying? Just work. It happens sometimes, don't get me wrong. And maybe in spots it'll be like, okay, work this last 30 seconds or work this round. But usually you have direction, you have mission, you have an objective when you're sparring. Usually that doesn't apply here. Because just from listening to it, you can hear Kid Austin, Schofield's father. You can hear Schofield Sr. saying things like, you know, he's trying to coach him to do things to capitalize off what Abdullah Mason is doing, or even counter what Abdullah Mason is doing. And same with them. To me, it seemed like that was a pretty much a free-for-all all go. Now, I'm not saying they were going 100% at full speed, but I'm saying that they were just in there working, you know. And I think that was dope, but I definitely think, you know, it's practice, right? So I don't really say, oh, somebody won or lost, but definitely Abdullah Mason got the better of Kid Austin in that matchup. Clearly, you know what I'm saying? So that right there would let people think like, oh yeah, Kid Austin Schofield Sr. is just capping. And I think he's capping, but I always thought he was capping. You know, I didn't think that he, you know, there's good days and there's bad days. And so this is where I'm going to show a little bit of grace to Schofield Sr., who I don't really like, you know, as far as his persona and some stuff that he says, but I do have to apply common sense. This is one recording. I don't know how many times they sparred. Maybe they did spar and Kid Austin did the contrary to how he looked right here. Maybe he did very good and Abdullah Mason looked very bad. So you can't assume that this is the one and only time that they sparred. I don't think there's anybody, even if I go visit a gym, like back in I don't spar anymore. I mean, I don't box anymore. But back when I used to spar at amateur and I go to a gym, I wouldn't just do one. I can't think of anybody I only did one round with. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure it probably has happened where I sparred somebody one time and they didn't come back to the gym, or I didn't go back to their gym, or, you know what I'm saying? I was only a one-time thing, but you don't really spar somebody one round. So we saw one round. So they might have did multiple rounds and maybe Kid Austin got off, or maybe they sparred multiple days and Kid Austin got off. So this doesn't necessarily mean that Kid Austin is lying or Senior is lying. However, it looks bad. It looks bad because the way he talks about it, you would think his son is Godzilla just walking through the gosh dang field just looking for smoke. You know what I'm saying? Nobody lays a finger on him. You know what I'm saying? That's the way he talks. So to see this, it definitely shows us that it's not all sweet for everybody that he fights. He doesn't always get the best of everybody, and he may be at the very least capping or stretching the hell out of the truth. You know what I'm saying? So I think it looks bad, but at the same time too, I do acknowledge that is definitely a either a pro Mason editor or an anti Schofield editor. And, you know, Schofield definitely landed a couple shots, you know. He said they only sparred once and it was round. They only sparred one time. That was the only time they sparred. They only did one round ever. I don't know, man. I got it. Where y'all getting that from? Where do y'all get that information from? Nah, bro, I sparred a lot of guys who intentionally went hard. Not every fighter understands technical sparring. Right, exactly. It seems Austin was going hard here and Mason was clearly holding back. Yeah, I think both of them were. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that they were both going hard right there. I don't think so. I think that they were both putting out the appropriate energy, but I wouldn't say that they were both going 100%. I don't think so. I definitely agree with you that Mason wasn't going all in. And I would even say that maybe Schofield was, like, you could tell when Schofield started catching that jab, like eating that jab, he started to pick up the pace a little bit because his pride was there. But I don't think he was going 100%. I wouldn't say that. I don't think so. Judging the tape, it looks like one of their first meetings based on the lack of familiarity. Yes, I agree. I feel like this is one of their first meetings. I agree with that. But I don't think this was the only time. I mean, maybe you're right. I don't know. I don't have any. I'm just going off of. I don't have any information to say, oh yeah, they sparred multiple times. I don't know. But I'm asking, how do y'all? Abdullah said in an interview that they only sparred one time in one round. Okay, I saw that interview. I remember when he was talking about sparring. I don't remember him saying they only sparred one time. Yeah, I highly doubt that. I don't remember. I remember the interview because I remember he was like sitting like in a car or something like that. I remember the interview, and it was because it was around the time when they asked him about the $2 million offer they had to fight, right? And that Schofield turned down, if I'm not mistaken, Tay. I don't recall him saying that they only sparred one time. I don't remember that. But like I said, I'm not doubting it. I just don't remember that. But yeah, if you could show me, that'd be dope. Abdullah said, he said, nah, they met more than once. Yeah, I that's what I'm leaning towards too. I don't think you gotta understand, like, these guys, a lot of times when you spar, why would you only want to, even if you get whooped, why would you only want to do one round? You see what I'm saying? Whether you won, if you came on the losing end or the shorter end of the stick, you want to get it back for your pride. Number one. Number two, and if you won and did good, you want to get some more work in. So I don't really I find it, I'm not saying it's impossible. It's definitely not impossible, circumstantial. But I don't believe that they only did this. That was the only round they did. I don't believe that. But it could be. It could be. I don't know. I just don't. That just doesn't seem right. Shout out to George, the last Patriot was good. When you fight Kid Austin, you have to remain focused every second of the rounds. Yeah, facts. He's a very pressured guy. Yeah, I don't think that they were going 100% though. You know, and I like Abdullah Mason. I think Abdullah Mason is a better fighter, more refined fighter. But I don't think that they were either one of them were going 100%. You know, but I will say that after Kid Austin tasted that leather, he was fighting with a heightened sense of urgency. But I don't think he was going 100%. I don't think he was. To me, 100% is. So you're saying that you think that he was going as hard as he was going when he fought like Tevin Farmer or like Renee Tellis-Garone? I don't think so. I don't think so. But I will say this though. I told this to Ty the other last night. Hey, I guess this was before the hypnosis, huh? I guess he ain't hypnotized him yet, huh? Abdullah Mason caught him before the hypnosis. Or maybe it ran out, chat. Maybe it ran out. Maybe it's on a timer. You know, like when you're Super Mario and you get the star and you do and you're invincible. Yeah, I guess that thing ran out. You know what I'm talking about? Because Abdullah Mason, he definitely looked hypnotized. But another thing too that people take out of context, and I know it sounds like I'm defending Schofield Sr. To me, a lot of fighter trainers, a lot of father-son trainer and fighters, to me they get a bad rap. You know, whether you talk about Devin Haney and Bill Haney, when you talk about Floyd Mayweather and Roger Mayweather, rest in peace, or his father, Floyd Mayweather Sr., or you're talking about Danny Garcia and Angel Garcia, you know, there's a lot of good father-son, Kenny Porter, Sean Porter, etc. Shingo Inoue, Naoya Inoue, Takuma Inoue. I'm not going to go down all the line, you know, but there's a lot of good father-son. You could argue that John Fury and Tyson Fury, John Fury's an asshole, but I never heard him say anything like racist or anything like that. But Teofimo Sr., Teofimo Lopez Sr. and Floyd Schofield Sr., to me, those are the only bad examples of father-son trainer, whatever, you know, fighter. I think everybody else is exaggerated. You know, Bill Haney might cap a lot. Brian Norman Sr. might talk a lot. You know, Angel Garcia might have talked a lot. But as far as being bad for their son, I think people greatly exaggerate the negative impact on the son. But to me, Teofimo Lopez Sr. and Floyd Schofield Sr. are the two accurate examples of guys that aren't doing right by their sons as far as boxing. I'm not speaking on them being a father. I don't know. That's out of my jurisdiction. You know, I wouldn't talk about them being their fatherhood, but I'm talking about them being a trainer or a manager. I think that they significantly do their job to the detriment of their sons, you know. But anyway, so I say that to say that I'm not defending Schofield Sr. However, I will say this though, you know, with Schofield Sr., dang, I lost my train of thought. With Schofield Sr., with Schofield Sr., a lot of people try to pick and choose. You know, Schofield Sr. said that he was hypnotized, which I think is stupid, you know, but to each his own, you know, I don't know, maybe he is. But he said he was hypnotized when he fights, right? So now it was advantageous for you to say that because it looked good because you got Tevin Farmer out of there 1 round. But a lot of people forget that he said the same thing about the hypnosis during the Renee Tellis-Garone fight. It's not the first time that he said it. You know what I'm saying? Now, this might be the first time that you notice because he looked good. His last fight, he did not look good against Renee Tellis-Garone in the fight that he headlined, you know, which I think Gabriela Fandora, Gabriela Alanis for the undisputed fight should have headlined. But anyway, it's neither here nor there. But he said that before, you know what I'm saying? He didn't look good. So, you know, I don't know about the hypnosis stuff, but a lot of people acted like this. The first time he said it was when he beat Tevin Farmer. That's just not true. You know, he said it before, too, against the Renee Tellis-Garone fight. And he looked bad, but he did win, you know, but he got dropped in like the 11th round, if I'm not mistaken, in that fight. People don't remember that, though. Ray Davis was good, brethren. My brother, shout out to Ray Davis in the building. Big member in the building, man. Shout out to my guy, Ray Davis, man. He's a salute, Doc. Hey, yo, happy 4th and Independence Day. Yes, sir. And happy Independence Day, man. Happy Independence Day for everybody, man. Y'all be safe with the fireworks and all that good stuff. And ignore all the haters in boxing BS channels. Doc is not one of them. I appreciate it, my brother. Appreciate it. Shout out to Ray Davis, man. He said the only person Kid Austin actually did one round with was Norman Jr. in Atlanta due to someone getting dropped and the fathers getting into it. See, something like that could happen. And then, you know what I'm saying, do 1 round. We never rock with you again because it could be some animosity or some potential violence there. That makes sense. But if you just doing some good work, you dapping up at the end, why would you do 1 round? You know what I'm saying? Whether you came out on top or came out on the bottom, you want to get more work in, you know? So I'm like I said, if you have any reason to believe that it was only 1 round, and maybe if Abdullah Mason said that, then of course, and I believe it. But I don't remember that. him saying it's only one round. You know, I'm not saying that you're wrong. Doc, pull up the Abdullah and Cigar Talk interview at 17. He explained it. 17 minutes. He said the cream from Shakur's masseuse was at the end of the day, spar to spar. Facts. Shout out to my guy, George Last Patriot. He said, because oftentimes there's context to the outcome. Right. My point exactly. What truly matters is what happens under the hot lights. Yep. Thousands of attendance, reputation on the line. Yep. But see, and like I said, not to be straddling the fence here, because we don't straddle nothing. You know what I'm talking about? We ain't straddling nothing around here. We're going to pause that.
No, did he?
But my point is that the reason why it's bad and I approve of this is because of what this essentially shows that Schofield is, if nothing else, he's a liar, right? Because he made it seem like nobody touches his son. Well, he did say Shakur punched him in the son and made him almost poop himself. You know what I'm saying? Man, pooted on himself when he did say that, but everybody else, he makes it seem like he dominated. So I don't mind this is coming out as to refute the claims that he's saying, oh, you whooped me. Oh, you whooped me? Okay, bet. You ain't whooped me here. So I understand this one has a purpose. It's not just putting it out to put it out. You know, however, I do think it would have been appropriate to actually show the few times that Kid Austin was successful in the sparring. But let me pull up the Cigar Talk. If it's long, I'm not going to watch the whole thing. Tay, but if you're saying he said that he did it one time, let's see. Because if he's explaining the one time and they did it and they sparred one time, those are two different things. You talking about this is a year ago. And I don't know when that sparred. Maybe at this point in time they could have sparred one time. I don't know. Let's see though. Let's see what you're talking about. I don't think I've ever seen this interview. Wait, actually, can I show? Wait, I don't know. Can I show Cigar Talk without getting copyright? I don't know if he copyrights. I don't want to get copyrighted trying to watch something about no gosh dang sparring.
What? Tell me that, man, because they was making it seem like he was putting that belt the ass on you in sparring. That's what they made it seem like.
No, like,
No, you gotta go back to what he actually said. He said sparring wars.
Sparring wars? Man,
So he said wars? He said sparring wars.
Yeah, nah.
He said we went to sparring wars. So wars would implement plural, right?
Nah, it wasn't none of that.
That would imply plural, right?
It wasn't none of that.
No war?
No war.
One-sided wars?
I wouldn't say that. But we only shared the ring one time for one round.
Oh, so that ain't even.
And I was ready to continue. I don't know why they stepped out after the first round. I was ready to go.
He said they stepped out after the first round.
You know, that's
Hold on, was that at his training camp?
No. We was out in Vegas. You know, I think
that definitely looked like Vegas. I ain't gonna lie.
was out in Vegas for a minute, and they just came to get some work. Yeah. So we were just there, you know, ready for the work. And
hold on, they just did one round, like they didn't.
Yeah. Well, it was like a sparring, like the round robin. You know, other different fighters.
Round robin for sure.
These 4 rounds, like, you know, each fighter get their rounds in. But I got in there, you know, I was just sparring, getting my work, and they stepped out after one round. So.
Yeah. Okay. So I have seen this.
Ooh. Listen, all right, I'm not gonna lie. That is y'all both at 35.
Hopefully I'll get copyrighted for this. Shout out to them. He said they stepped out after one round. I do remember this now watching this. Hey, that's what he said. That's what he said. Is it if it is for educational purposes? It's for educational purposes. Yeah, shit. Yep, it was for educational purposes to see the reference. Shout out to Tay. I think that was Tay said that. Shout out to Tay. So it looks like they did one round. Now, was he referencing one particular time, or was he talking about they've only did one round in life? I don't know. But yeah, I would have from that I would have said that it was one round. You know, and they only did one round. In my opinion, Schofield operates. Shout out to Tay for that. In my opinion, Schofield's father operates and treats his son similarly to Tim Bradley's father, which is why Tim dislikes all father trainers. True. Yep, true. He says someone not being honest. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about one round, like I said. But I want to see what, you know, I'm sure Kid Austin, bro, this is Schofield, right? So we know Schofield Sr. is going to come out and say something, you know, so he going to try to clear the air, and whether you believe him or not, he's looking a little shaky right now. So I don't know why you would believe him at this point, because, you know, he definitely didn't mention his son getting pieced up. Yeah, so I would go with that. If you hear it from the horse's mouth, whether Abdullah Mason is not being honest or not, I think that seems very odd. But yeah, he's saying that, hey, they didn't want to spar anymore. And they never sparred again. But granted, you know, they could have sparred since then. But no, I'm going with Abdullah Mason. That's what he said. That's what he said. I never try to accuse anybody of being a liar, and I see no reason for him to lie. So if he said they did one round, that was the only round they did. That's the only round they did until seen otherwise. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to them. But yeah, that like I said, I don't really think the sparring means much. But when you're out there advertising and what can I say? When you're out there advertising and bloviating about your son dominating all these fighters, then I think that it means something, because, you know, we know that you're just you're lying. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Hey, you're lying, bro. We seen the tape. Shout out to Nah, what's good? So we seen the tape, and it's just not true. You know, you're not dominating everybody in sparring, or at least you're not dominating them every time. And Abdullah Mason definitely got the better of you. Like I said, I don't like to say winners or losers in sparring. In sparring, you're supposed to be learning, supposed to be practicing. However, you know, you definitely didn't come out on top on that one. You know what I'm saying? You got the beats on that one. You know, and you could argue that I'd say got dropped 1.5 times. Maybe you could argue you got dropped twice. It's up to you, your perspective. But yeah, it is what it is, man. So yeah, man, I'm definitely have the Discord open, man. If anybody wants to call in and pull up, man, pull up on me. You know what I'm saying? See what you got to say. But as far as that goes, man, I'm looking forward to that fight potentially happening, man. You know, they're both in the same division. They're both young. Hopefully that fight, I mean, Abdullah Mason's younger, right? 21. I think Floyd Schofield is what, 22, you know? So hopefully that we could get that fight sooner. I ain't gonna say sooner than later, but we can get it sometime, you know, sometime down the line. Hopefully be for a title fight, maybe for a unification. You never know, you know, because Floyd Schofield is ranked #1 in the WBA. I don't think he beats Gervonta Tank Davis, you know, right now. But hey, I mean, why not try? You know what I'm saying? It's a big money fight because it's Tank, and then you have opportunity to win a title. And then Abdullah Mason, I don't think it's a given that he beats Sam Noakes. I know a lot of people overlook at Sam Noakes. I'm going with Abdullah Mason. Like I said, I think he will win the vacant WBO title, but I don't think it's a given. Sam Noakes is a pretty good up-and-coming boxer for the UK as well. You know, he hasn't really fought anybody. I think his last fight was Patrick Balaz, and his fight before that was like Ryan Walsh or something. But he looks pretty good while doing it. And he has he has punching power as well. So, you know, we'll see. It's gonna be interesting. But I have Abdullah Mason winning. But if he gets caught, you could be in trouble. But just imagine if Abdullah Mason could be the WBO title holder, Shakur Stevenson be the WBC title holder if he beats William Zepeda and keeps his belt. Tank could be the WBA title holder if he beats Lamont Roach and keeps his belt for their upcoming rematch. And then the IBF is who? Raymond Murataya. Man, that's a pretty good. Hopefully we get to see them mix it up, man. I want to see Tank and Shakur the most, but if I get Tank and Murataya, I'm cool. Murataya and Shakur, I'm cool. Shakur and Abdullah Mason, I'm cool. Mason and Tank, I'm cool, man. You know, or Mason Murataya. So there's a lot of good fights, man. I'm looking forward to all of them, man. I'm looking forward to all of them. Hopefully they mix it up, man. Pull up on me. Hey, yo, come on, bro. Now you wildin'. Now you wildin'. Shout out to Oscar. Yeah. Yeah, we gonna pause you because your mind is crazy. Hey, yo. But yeah, man. So anybody can pull up on the Discord if you want to call in. Feel free to call in. But the fights that I'm looking forward to, yo, Oscar is diabolic. That sentence was diabolical. Now looking forward to these fights that are coming up, man. We have a fight this weekend. It's not really that big. You know, we have Joe Cordina on the card. I think he's fighting. I think Joe Cordina is fighting. What's the dude's name? Joet Gonzalez's brother, Jarrett, right? Because Joet Gonzalez is fighting Brandon Figueroa on the Pacquiao Barrios card. And I think that this weekend, Joe Cordina is fighting the brother of Joet Gonzalez, Jarrett Gonzalez, if I'm not mistaken. So that's going to be a fight that I'm looking forward to see Joe Cordina bounce back. And, you know, since his loss to, who did he lose to? Who he get knocked out by? Kakashi? Yeah, he got knocked out by Kakashi. And I want to see Joe Cordina, see what he has left. We got Sky Nicholson bouncing back since her first loss to, suffering her first loss to Tierra Brown. You know, not big fights, but it's still fights I'm looking forward to. The main event is Jack Catterall El Gato, who he'll be looking to bounce back against Harlem Eubank. So there's a lot of people looking to bounce back from their losses on this card tomorrow, good Lord willing. But it's not a big card, right? But next weekend, good Lord willing, the 12th, ooh, that's a fire card. We have what? We have Edgar Berlanga versus Shiraz. I got Edgar Berlanga by stoppage. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my guy Berlanga. Ty said one of the guys from Michigan was present, and participated some work with them in Toledo. They've worked outside of Vegas as well. Schofield took a few trips to Ohio. Bro, Ty, you know I believe you, because I know you. You know what I'm saying? I know you. But according to that, you know, I'm gonna go with them. But nah, you know I believe you. You know I mean you be. But yeah, I definitely believe you. But you know, as far as what he said in public, I'm gonna go with it. You know, out of respect, I don't like to call nobody no liars. So, but yeah, I definitely believe you. That just seems odd. You know, that division they had the unification is Haney versus Cambosa. I'm telling you, Ryan, it's crazy. We definitely need some movement, man. I'm looking at Tank too. You know what I'm saying? We definitely need some movement there, Tank.
Yeah.
We need some movement, Shakur.
Yeah.
We need some movement. Well, I'm gonna give Murataya some grace because he just got there, you know. But we needed some movement, Lomachenko.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, with WBO we gonna get some grace because it's vacant right now. You know, Keyshawn just left, but but yeah, we got I got Berlanga by stoppage. I think Shiraz is a better boxer, but I'm going with Berlanga. I think Berlanga gonna dodge some punches like, hey, you know what I'm talking about? I got Berlanga by stoppage. I'm really hoping for Berlanga. I like Berlanga, man. Berlanga's a clown, bro, and I like it. He's funny, bro. He always makes me laugh, and I appreciate that. So I'm hoping Berlanga beats Shiraz by stoppage. That's what I'm going with. We got Shakur versus Zepeda. I think that's a pretty good fight, man. I think people are underestimating Zepeda. You know, I think it's either people think that Zepeda's going to smoke Shakur or they think Shakur is going to smoke Zepeda. You don't really see any up the middle. You know, I'm pretty much up the middle. I think Shakur is going to win. Don't get me wrong. I think I'm leaning 70-30 for Shakur. That's not really up the middle as far as how I think it's going to play out. But I'm saying that I'm up the middle as far as thinking that Zepeda, I don't think Zepeda is just going to go and get smoked and blasted out. You know what I'm saying? I think Shakur could stop him, but I think it's going to be very interesting. I'll say at least for a good 5-6 rounds, you know, because Zepeda does have a lot high work rate, but I think Shakur is gonna pull off late, and he might even stop him. You know, I wouldn't be surprised, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if Zepeda outworks him and Shakur maybe can't take the pressure, you know what I'm saying? But I think that Shakur is a very well-rounded boxer. I think he's going to be able to adapt. I think that's what happens when you have superior skills and you're an all-around complete fighter. You're going to adapt. And when I say complete, I'm not saying that he has power. I'm not saying that you could be complete and not have excess in any one department. You know what I'm saying? A complete means that nothing is really foreign to you and you know how to do a little bit of this or a good amount of that, and you're a complete fighter. You're well-rounded. There's some fighters that they go into fights and they're handicapped. That's why they're worried about having a small ring, and they're worried about outside things to influence the fight when they're not worried about they're not focused on influencing it through their own means and their skills. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean, a complete fighter. So Shakur is going to be able to adapt whether it's a small ring or a large ring, and I think that he's going to come out on top. But I definitely see Zepeda as a threat to him. You know, I don't think he might look easy, but it's still not gonna be easy. So what I'm saying is this: I'm saying that if Shakur whoops Zepeda, Shakur needs to get his full credit. And if Zepeda whoops Shakur, he needs to get his full credit. I hate when people go into a fight and say, "Oh yeah, man, Shakur is gonna make it look easy. It's gonna be easy night," and then he does make it look easy, and then people be like, "Oh well, Zepeda, he wasn't as good as we thought." No, Zepeda is what we think. It's just that Shakur might just be better. You see what I'm saying? And Shakur is what we think. I don't care about his hands or anything like that. If you're in the ring, you're in the ring. And Zepeda just might be better. So give the fighters, no matter who wins, give them their credit. Same with Haney and Norman. No matter who wins, give them their full credit. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I want to emphasize that both the fighters are good. So I want to see that. But yeah, I got Berlanga. I got Shakur beating Zepeda. Who else? I got David Morrell smoking Imam Katayev. Easy unanimous decision. I'm talking about he gonna make it like a walk in the park, I think. And then who's the other one? Is that Puello versus Matias? That fight I'm still up in the air about. I don't know how that one's gonna go. No. Is Puello and Matias on that card? Or is that on the Pacquiao card? I always get that confused. I think no, that is on the card. So Puello Matias, that's a good fight. I'm still undecided on that one. I'm still undecided on that one. He said, I have a feeling Tank's team will throw Kid Austin a bone. Could potentially be a cherry pick gone wrong, but I feel Austin is still green. I wouldn't call that a cherry pick, though. You know, he's ranked #1, man. You can't cherry pick. It's okay. So, like, now, shout out to Namin. You know what I'm saying? That's your opinion. I disagree, though. You know, I got my imaginary guns ready for Shout out to Oscar. Yes, sir. Shout out to Edgar Berlanga, man. Empty out the whole clip, man. 100-round drum on Eddie Hearn, man. Shout out yeah, bro. I don't know how people don't like Berlanga, but that man funny, dog. He be having me crying, bro. I rock with Berlanga, bro. That man's a full clown out here, bro. I be rooting for him, man. Shout out to Berlanga. I hope he really pulls this off. But I don't think you could cherry pick a number 1 ranked guy. He's not the mandatory, but he's ranked number 1. You know, all he has to do is all the WBA and President Gilberto Mendoza has to do is let him activate his mandatory if he really wants that, and he'll be number 1. So it's like Edgar Berlanga. It's funny that we were just talking about Edgar Berlanga now, because you know, Canelo fought Edgar Berlanga, right? And people said that was a cherry pick. Edgar Berlanga was ranked number 1 for the same WBA. He was not the mandatory. It was a voluntary fight, but he was ranked number 1. You can't cherry pick a number 1 ranked guy. You see what I'm saying? It's so funny that like, and I like Naoya Inoue. Naoya Inoue is a beast, but people won't say that he cherry picked Ramon Cardenas. People don't say he cherry picked Yi-Ju Kim. People don't say he cherry picked Sam Goodman. Sam Goodman, he was about to fight Sam Goodman. He's a number 1 ranked guy, but nobody really knows him. He's out of Australia, right? He's undefeated, but he was number 1 ranked. So he shouldn't be considered a cherry pick. I'm not saying that he should be. I'm saying he should not be. But I'm saying no one says that that's a cherry pick. So why, when Tank fights a number 1 ranked guy who's undefeated, potentially, and Kid Austin Schofield, that's a cherry pick. Or even Edgar Berlanga, who was number 1 ranked and undefeated as well when Canelo fought him. How's that a cherry pick? You know, now if you're fighting a number 14 ranked guy like Jaya Pataya as a voluntary defense, and Claudio Squayo, who never fought out of Italy, ranked number 14, and he's undefeated and unknown, that's a cherry pick. You see what I'm saying? So I disagree. I don't think that'd be a cherry pick, Kid Austin. But I do think Kid Austin loses a Tank. Shout out to Kid Austin. No, I'm not mad at him if he wants to try it. Shout out to 86 in the building, man. 86 boxer. What's good, brethren? I'm leaning towards Puello too, Mr. Grandy. But you know, I don't want to count out Subaru Matias, man. But yeah, I'm leaning towards Puello as well. The Berlanga special with the heat. I got the real drinks for our boy Berlanga. Y'all chill out. Hey, we got my boy D1 in the building, man. Check out my boy D1, man. Shout out to D1. Big member in the building. He said, then tell Shakur to take offers where they offer to him. He said, Kid Austin, they ready for Tank? Yeah, I don't think he's ready. It'll look worse than the Frank Martin fight. Yeah, but I thought the Frank Martin fight was good, man. Like I said, that's the thing, man. You know, and I'm not saying you're saying this, Tay, but I'm just talking about for people. You know, I made videos and shorts about this. You know, a lot of people thought that Tank versus Frank Martin was a bad fight. Let's look at his contemporaries, right? Tank fought Frank, who was ranked number 5 or 6, don't quote me, at the time when he fought him. His contemporary in Teofimo fought Steve Claggett, who was unranked and then magically ranked number 14 or something like that, 14 or 13, right? So Frank Martin was ranked higher than Steve Claggett. That's the point I'm making. At the time when Devin Haney, that was around the time Devin Haney fought Ryan Garcia, Frank Martin was ranked higher than Ryan Garcia. These are facts, right? And then and Shakur Stevenson fought Artem Harutyunyan. These aren't bad fights, but Artem Harutyunyan had 1 loss. He's a former Olympian. He only had 1 loss. Guess who that 1 loss came to? Frank Martin. Frank Martin was also ranked higher than Artem Harutyunyan. That's just facts. I'm not saying that these are bad fights, but some people would say that Tank versus Frank was a cherry pick too. It's like, how? Out of his contemporaries, Teofimo, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Tank literally fought the one with the most merit, the undefeated fighter that was ranked the highest. So unless they're all cherry picks, Frank Martin can't be a cherry pick unless you're saying they're all cherry picks. You know what I'm saying? Then they, you know, they have to meet the criteria. I think sometimes we say, like, once again, I'm not talking to anybody in the chat specifically. I'm just speaking in general now, generalities. I think sometimes we say that these guys and girls would cherry pick people because we don't know them or we expect so much of them. But it's like, bro, if Teofimo fought Frank Martin, we would say that's a good fight. You got to understand, Frank Martin beat Michelle Rivera, the guy that resembles Muhammad Ali in features, and he beat, like I said, Artem Harutyunyan, and Frank Martin was Frank the Ghost Martin. Like I said, I think Frank Martin is going to go on to be a champion at 140. And he's about to bounce back and fight Rances Barthélemy, who I think is a good fight, you know, and that could potentially set up a potential fight between Gary Anton Russell and Frank Martin for a title because, you know, they both have that commonality of fighting Rances Barthélemy if Frank Martin wins. So I think Frank Martin's going to bounce back and be a champion. Same with Isa Pitbull Cruz after he fought Tank. He went on and became a champion at 140 when he beat Rolly. Same with Mario Barrios after he fought Tank. He went on and became a champion. How many fighters have fighters that they beat that went on after they lost and became a champion? I don't think too many fighters do. You know what I'm saying? So that, to me, that's indicative. I'm not saying that these are great fighters, but that's a testament to them being good fighters, not shot fighters, not fighters that are over the hill, not fighters that are bad. It's just that they're not good enough to beat Gervonta, you know? And D1 said that only happens in Tank. Yeah, I slightly disagree. I think that heavy is the head that wears the crown, you know what I'm saying, D1? So I'm not going to say it only happens to Gervonta. I think we notice it the most when it comes to Gervonta, but it happens to Canelo too. Like I gave the example with Edgar Berlanga. Edgar Berlanga, whether you like him or not, whether you think he's serious or not, whether you acknowledge his skills or not, whatever, it's cool. He might not be a great fighter. You could say he's a C-level fighter, but he was ranked number 1 in the WBA at the time that Saul Canelo Alvarez fought him. You tell me a guy I'm honestly speaking, I like Naya Inoue, but Naya Inoue is somebody who's recognized as a great fighter. He deserves that. He's a phenomenal fighter, 2-time undisputed, undefeated while doing it. But I want you to tell me a time in recent history where Naya Inoue has fought a guy that's ranked number 1. Tell me. I'll wait. I done knocked my camera off. Tell me. I'll wait. Tell me the last time Naya Inoue has fought a guy who was ranked number 1 or a mandatory. I'll wait. But anybody he fights is cool. He fights TJ Doheny, who's 38 years old with 5 losses. Cool. Nobody says nothing. He fights Ramon Cardenas, who already has a loss, to a guy who's like 14-7, you know, and then it's his first time in a title fight. Cool. He fights Yi-Ju Kim as a replacement, who already has some losses there, not really known, relatively unknown, you know. Cool. No one said nothing. He fights Luis Nery, who already got stopped by Brandon Figueroa. You know, Brandon Figueroa, a guy that lost to Stephen Fulton. You know, Stephen Fulton, the guy that Naya Inoue knocked out. Yeah, that's the guy that he fought. And it's cool because I like Luis Nery as a fighter for Naya Inoue because of the historical context, right? It has a story. Luis Nery cheated the former Japanese champion in Yamanaka. He was overweight and he came in with PEDs, and he was subsequently suspended after knocking out Yamanaka twice. Not once, but twice. So there's a storyline there. It's like an anime-esque arc. It's like a movie storyline. So I appreciate the historical context of that fight. But as far as Luis Nery being a high caliber, solid opponent, that's just not true. But no one says anything about him cherry picking. Oh, but if Tank fights Lamont Roach, who's a current champion, he's cherry picking. But Nick Ball brings up TJ Doheny after getting stopped by Naya Inoue from a lower weight class. No one says he's cherry picking. Nick Ball is now turning around and bringing up another guy consecutively from 122 and Sam Goodman. No one says he's cherry picking. Oh, but Tank fights a guy that's at 130 who's fought multiple times above 130 at 135. And he's a champion. He's cherry picking. Canelo Alvarez fights a number 1 guy in Berlanga. Oh, but it's not David Benavidez, so he's cherry picking. So it's like sometimes we got to recognize that heavy is the head that wears a crown, and the guys that have the spotlight, we have a microscope on them, and we're not usually judging them fairly. You know what I'm saying? It's just not true. I mean, who did Janibek just fight? Janibek just fought Andre Mikhailovich and some other guy. I can't even pronounce his name. You know, there's no shame in that. It's cool, but who is Janibek fighting? Oh, we don't say nothing about that though. You know, it's crazy. Crazy. Nick Ball is ducking 126 smoke. How dare you bring up Goodman instead of Unify? Hey, and you see, that's why I walk with Ryan. Because Ryan is a Nick Ball guy. He's a Nick Wrecking Ball guy. And he wants him to unify. Same with me. Like, I don't mind Nick Ball chasing Inoue. That's cool. Inoue is the money man from 118 to gosh dang 130. Cool. Sorry, I'll say 118 to 126. I'll say 130. And then from 130 to 147, the money man is Tank. I'm cool with people chasing him. And then obviously 154 to 175 is Saul Canelo Alvarez, money man. Chase him. Anthony Joshua, heavyweight, he might not be a champion. He's still the money man. Chase him. Cool. However, at least make it be reasonable. Nick Ball, if you go and unify against Angelo Leo, who's the IBF champion, don't you think that makes you a little bit more desirable? Because we know Naya Inoue is chasing legacy, right? So don't you think it would add to your chances of getting Naya Inoue if you go and unify against Angelo Leo? That'd make Naya Inoue probably want to fight you even more now because now you're a 2-belt champion. You see what I'm saying? But no, they just Angelo Leo. Shout out to Angelo Leo, man. I like him, but you know, you called out Naya Inoue, bro. You had your last win against Tomoki Kameda, which was a good win. It was your mandatory. You called out Inoue, bro. Why not call out Stephen Fulton? Well, okay, I'm going to give him a little pass for not calling out Stephen Fulton because Angelo Leo has 1 loss, and that loss came to Stephen Fulton. So he may not want that pressure again. So, okay, we'll give you that pass. But why not call out Rafael Espinosa? He's a WBO champion at 126. Why not call out Nick Ball? He's a WBA champion. You calling out Naya Inoue, bro. What are we doing? I love it, but come on now. Goodman should be fighting. Talk to him, Toledo. I like that. Sam Goodman versus Elijah Pierce. Sam Goodman should be fighting... whatever, bro. It's crazy. He could fight, bro. I'd even take him fighting John Rio Casimiro. You know what I'm talking about? Take the Filipino contender and let him see if he can shake something and potentially get a Naya Inoue fight. You know, and I don't think Naya Inoue has to go to 126. He can stay at 122, you know. But I think that you waiting on a guy from a lower weight division to hopefully choose you, like it's some UGK anthem, you know what I'm talking about? UGK Outcast anthem, I choose you, you know what I'm talking about? That's for the old heads in there. Rest in peace, Pimp C. You know, Pimp C right there on the wall, man. You see Pimp C, you know what I'm talking about? You see Pimp C on the wall. But anyway, you wait for him to choose you. It's like, bro, handle your business in your division, bro. You shouldn't be holding up unifications because you wait. Like, look at Juto Nakatani. That's why I like Juto Nakatani. Juto Nakatani wants Naya Inoue just like everybody else. I think all of us would admit that we probably want Juto Nakatani versus Naya Inoue the most. Junto Nakatani's not sitting around waiting just to get Naoya Inoue. No, he's trying to dominate his division in the meantime. He just fought Ryosuke Nishida, who's an undefeated IBF champion or was, and beat him and unified. Now Junto Nakatani is definitively the best at the bantamweight 118 division because he has a WBC belt and he has Ryosuke Nishida's IBF belt. And he said he wants to fight Yoshiki Takei, who's a WBO champion, and Antonio Vargas, who's a WBA champion because he was just elevated because Seiya Susumi, who's was a WBA champion, has an eye injury. He's trying to fight the other guys. He's trying to knock them off. What's up with Nick Ball? What's up with Espinosa? What's up with Fulton is about to move up to fight Oshiki Foster, so he gets a pass because he's going up to 130. But what's up with Angelo Leo, Nick Ball, and Espinosa, brother? Let's get some action. You know, let's keep the same energy. When it's 135, we talk about Tank not fighting Shakur not fighting Murataya not fighting the winner of Noakes and Mason. Okay, bet. But there's a lot of divisions that have multiple champions, 4 champions in every single sanctioning body. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about 115. Shout out to Bam Rodriguez, the American WBC champion. He's fighting the undefeated South African WBO champion, Fumile the Cafu. That's happening next week. No, the 19th, right? So shout out to them. But it's been a long time that there were undefeated champions there as well. You know, you had Puma Martinez, who's an Argentinian champion. You have Fumile the Cafu. Before that was Kosei Tanaka, you know, and you had Bam Rodriguez. And Puma Martinez was calling out Bam Rodriguez. But Bam Rodriguez was fighting old heads like Juan Francisco Estrada, El Gallo, the Rooster. And he's fighting all these other older fighters. And we put him number 3, number 4, number 5 pound for pound. The audacity. How you going to put him 5 pound for pound? He ain't even fighting. He tried to fight Chocolatito. What are we talking about, man? And I like Bam Rodriguez, but I need some action, man. So shout out to him and shout out to Fumile Cafu for unifying in the next couple of weeks. But before that, I wasn't going, man. You know what I'm talking about? I need to see some action, man. You know what I'm saying? I need to see some of these guys before you talk about Bam Rodriguez and Naoya Inoue. How about he be the definitive best in his division? Same with Junto Nakatani. How about him be the man at 118 before we talk about him fighting the man at 122? Same with Nick Ball. How about he be the man at 126 before we talk about him fighting the man at 122 and Naoya Inoue? You see what I'm saying? 130 has 4 divisions as well. Lamont Roach, Oshiki Foster. Kakashi just gave up his belt, the IBF. So who's what's that? Eduardo Sugar Nunez, the IBF. And then who's a WBO? Emmanuel Navarrete. Let's get some action. You see what I'm saying? Shout out to Charlie Suarez. I want to see that rematch with him and Emmanuel Navarrete because he was robbed. That he should have got that victory. So hopefully we get that rematch. But there's a lot of divisions with 4 champions. It's not just, you know what I'm talking about? Shout out to them, man. He said, shout out to my guy Clone, man, dropping that bread, that cheese, that butter.
These biscuits.
Shout out to my guy Clone, man. He said happy 4th. But if you El Negro, you better not be celebrating Weezer free now, bro. What's wrong with this? Bro, what's wrong with you, bro? What's wrong? Nah, bro. You lucky you a mob, because I'd have tossed you out of here, man. Hey, somebody give him the boot, man. Yeah, get Claude up out of here, man. Happy Independence Day, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Happy Juneteenth and happy 4th of July, but we should all celebrate, man. You know what I'm talking about? Give us free. All freedom and equality for all peoples, man. All shapes, sizes, colorations, and genders and orientations. You feel me? And religions. He said, Doc, message in the Discord from our sponsor. Share with the peeps. He said, oh, nah, bro. You wrong, bro. You wrong, bro. You wrong, bro. Shout out to my guy. Nah, don't put that man on the Oscarine, man. Don't do that, man. Don't do that, man. He's Oscarine. Oh my god. He put him with the sauce from Oscar de la Panti and Golden Shower Promotions. Floyd Schofield Jr. We can make champs. All new blue hypnosis, man. Don't do that, bro. Don't do that, man. Hey, Golden Boy looking shaky too now. You know, Ryan Garcia was on them things, you know. Jaime Munguia, he wasn't with Oscar anymore, but he was with Top Rank. He was just with Oscar. He got caught on them PEDs. Hey, look a little shaky over there, man. Looking shaky, baby. You know, but don't put my boy on the drugs, man. Don't. He on the, what's that drug called? Blink Twice? Oh, no. He out there looking like Shannon Tatum. Don't do that, bro. Don't do that, man. Shout out to my guy, Ray Davis, man. Shout out to Toledo Trice. He says, Takuma Inoue would have fought Nakatani if he didn't lose to Seiya Susumi. Yeah. Hey, I ain't go. Hey, Toledo. Hey. You think in hindsight 2020, you think Takuma Inoue happy or not? Hey, he would have went to sleep. I'm talking about you would have. Hey, we would have been standing over. Say gosh dang Takuma Inoue like this. We would have been standing over him like this, bro.
You got knocked the fuck out, man. Give me my gun.
And I ain't gonna lie, bro, that fight was good, but that's why I like Seiya Susumi, because, you know, rest in peace, and Noguchi, I don't know if a lot of people know that, but you know about the Japanese young 23-year-old that passed away. He was put in a coma in 2023 in December, right? He actually, Seiya Susumi is the guy that fought him. You know, a lot of people don't make that connection. And Noguchi actually passed away from his fight with Seiya Susumi. And Takuma Inoue fought him. I just think Takuma Inoue, I don't know what he was on that night, but he just seemed like he wasn't ready. He wasn't prepared for the gas, bro. Seiya Susumi don't stop punching, bro. That man is a punching machine. He does not stop punching, and he just outworked the hell out of Takuma Inoue. But you know, that made me mad, Trice, because I know you're new to the channel, but and I ask Ty, I've been saying this for years. I've been saying Jutsu Nakatani gonna beat Naoya Inoue. They call Naoya Inoue the monster. I call Jutsu Nakatani the monster slayer. Go look up my track record, bro. I dropped videos. I said, man, in my eyes, I set up an anime-esque arc between Jutsu Nakatani and the Inoue family. I said Jutsu Nakatani was gonna fight Takuma Inoue for unification, beat him, and then Naoya Inoue was gonna have to come down like Mortal Kombat Liu Kang type numbers and try to avenge his brother's honor, right, and try to get that back, and Takuma Inoue was gonna put him to sleep too. So that's how I looked at it, man. But unfortunately, it's not gonna happen anymore because Takuma Inoue lost to Seiya Susumi. So but yeah, man, I was disappointed in that because I selfishly wanted my my gosh dang comic book arc to come into fruition, but it didn't happen. So shout out to Seiya Susumi. That was a good fight, so I'm not knocking it, you know what I'm saying. Hope everyone having a blessed day. Hey, man, you too, clone. God bless you, bro. He said Teller's gonna fight August 26th. He's eventually going to be champion, and Boots can't enforce his champion status. Yeah, man, I'm hearing about Jonas Tellus, and I'm hearing about those are nice dogs. Somebody walking their dogs out there. Jonas Tellus is talking about fighting Boots, man. I hope that doesn't happen. I like Jonas Tellus. I think it's a little bit too early for him to fight Boots, but it's Boots' debut at 154, so maybe Boots won't be able to handle 154. But if he can, yeah, it's a wrap for Jonas. I like Jonas too. Why Oscar De La Hoya not trying to make no fights with Virgil and Ryan until 2026, where they both have been cleared to return to gym activities? You know, because Ryan Garcia showed his hand. Him hand hurt. Him hand hurt, Ty. Him hand hurt. Fuck out of here. Him hand hurt. Yeah, because, you know, first it was the environment why he lost to Rolly, even though it's the same environment that Rolly Romero fought in. Same environment Devin Haney and Jose Carlos Ramirez and Teofimo Lopez and Barbosa fought in. They all fought in the same environment. Now, it wasn't like he was fighting in an environment that was exclusive to him. You know, that was an excuse for losing then. You know, and then he was off the PEDs, you know. That's an excuse right there. But it wasn't PEDs before, you know. It's all a conspiracy, you know. But he was off the PEDs. That's what really happened. And then, you know, now it's his hand hurt and then his shoulder hurts. You know what I'm saying? All types of excuses to why you got mollywopped by Rolly Romero. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. The cheater always got an excuse, ain't it? And we apparently we're all here for it. You know what I'm saying? Bum ass cheating.
We do not let people who are on the juice discuss real athletes. That's all.
If Inoue moves up to 126, I wonder if Fulton would rematch him there. Fulton kind of talked about it a little bit. I don't think he would because, like I said, I think he's leaving. He said that he's open to unifying. According to the interview that he had with Andre Ward, was the last one I saw. Dope interview, by the way, but he was like he's probably going to move to 130. He said the only thing that would keep him there is a unification. And so if Naoya Inoue moves up in a short period of time and fights Nick Ball, let's say, and beats him, then maybe he would be open to a rematch. I think he should leave it alone personally. But yeah, if he wants to get it back, bro. I'm here for it. I actually had, you know, and the reason why I think you should leave it alone is because no disrespect to Fulton. I like Scooter. But I personally, I had Inoue beating Fulton going into that fight to tell you the truth. So I don't really care for that rematch. I mean, if they want to do it, yeah, do it. You know, get it back. But I don't think it's necessary. Move on. Ryan got A cups. It's crazy. Ryan Garcia got a boo-boo. You feel me, Mr. Granny? Could we get Junto versus Tenshin Nasukawa? Oh, you want that? Tenshin Nasukawa go to sleep, but I want Juto to unify, man, if he can. You know, I want for me, I want either Antonio Vargas, the WBA champion, or Yoshiki Takei, the WBO champion. I don't think it's gonna happen. I think it's wishful thinking. But that's what I want, man. But you know, I like, you know, that's one of my favorite fighters. So my top three is Cinnamon, Tank, and Junto. So you know, I'm cool with any fight, but yeah. He would, but under certain circumstances, though. Yeah, I'm not mad at that. Yeah. I definitely think that if he does fight him, he shouldn't go back to Japan. Make sure that's at least in Riyadh. You know, not saying that's why he lost. I'm just saying just make sure that you could dot all your I's and cross all your T's. You know what I'm talking about? At least fighting in like a neutral place or Vegas or something. But if you do go back to Japan, make sure that you go in there and with enough time to be acclimated with the weather and all the time zones and stuff like that. But, you know, I'm not saying that would change anything, but you don't want to go in there handicapped or compromised. You know what I'm saying? Give yourself the appropriate time to adjust and get right, man, because anyway ain't gonna play with you. He said Tank needs to fight anyway at 130 in Japan. Ooh, now you talking, bro. Hey, I like Trice, man. He coming up with these scenarios. Don't do that. Don't do that to Inoue, though, man. Don't do that to Inoue. Hey, don't do that to Inoue, man. Don't do that, Trice. I like Inoue, man. I think Inoue should stay away from Tank. You know, but hey, if they want to do it, man, go ahead. You know, if Inoue want to fight Tank and Tank want to fight Inoue, let's get it popping. Tank and Inoue at 130.
Yeah.
In Japan.
Yeah.
This year.
Yeah.
For the beans.
Yeah.
For the bag.
Yeah.
For the glory.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm with it. I'm with it, man. I'm with it, man. I'm with it. Nah, no Japan for Scooter. Right, exactly. You think Jake Paul gonna really fight? No, not at all. They did a face-off. They did. That's cap. That's all. That's all for shits and giggles, as they say. Jake Paul, you know, his game plan is to cash out. You know, he's gonna fight guys that are somewhat respectable based on their past legacy that they may have, you know, or he's gonna fight guys that are non-professional boxers, you know what I'm saying, and making their debuts or whatnot. And then he's going to cash out with either one of the big names, right? Gervonta Tank Davis, Anthony Joshua, or preferably for Jake Paul, Saul Canelo Alvarez to face a boxer. So that's obviously his game plan. So is he going to fight somebody that's dangerous? The only way I can see him fighting Zerto or Ja Patai or any other cruiserweight champion or contender is if he can't get Cinnamon, Tank, or Anthony Joshua. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's clear. I mean, it's no coincidence that he's calling out the three biggest revenue generators in boxing. He's calling out Canelo first, then Tank, and then AJ. You know, those are the three biggest cash cows. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a coincidence. Economically speaking, those are the biggest boxers in the game. You know, so that's definitely his plan, is to build a name and somehow get his way into making a fight come into fruition between the big guys. And then that way, if he loses, he still wins because he's getting a big bag. I can't blame him. You know what I'm saying? But as far as do I respect it, as far as being a boxing purist and a pugilist enthusiast, I don't respect it from the standpoint that he's a boxer that's not boxing real boxers. But at the same time, simultaneously, I do think I can admit that he's good for the sport. He's bringing more eyes on the sport. For example, I have cousins and family members, I'm sure you do too, Mr. Grandy, that they don't call me for Tank versus Frank. They don't call me for Usyk versus Dubois. They don't call me for Beterbiev and Bivol. They don't call me for Shakur and Zepeda. Oh, but they called me for Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. You feel me? So that is showing you that he's bringing more eyes to boxing, whether it's by hook or by crook, whether it's solely by him or by him in conjunction with the person that he's fighting. You know, I mean, you could blame it on a lot of that, attribute that a lot to Mike Tyson. But my cousin, don't talk to me about boxing. He called me for Mike Tyson. Hell, my mama hit me up about Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. You know, I'm talking about my pops hit me up about Mike Tyson, Jake Paul. They don't hit me up about, gosh dang, Brian Norman and Devin Haney. You feel me? So he's bringing eyes from a casual standpoint to boxing, and you got to appreciate that because he does have good fights on his undercard. You know, Zerto just satisfied his WBA mandatory against Junior Dorticos. That was on Jake Paul's undercard. Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, who are having a completely unnecessary trilogy next week, you know, in the imminent future, they had one of their fights on the Jake Paul undercard. And not to mention what he's doing for women. That's an all-women card. One time for the ladies. You know what I'm saying? That's an all-women card, and that's an MVP Promotions. You know, he also had Shushu Carrington on his card. I don't think people realize that he had Daniel Dubois, who's the current IBF heavyweight champion. He was on his undercard in Cleveland. He was on the Jake Paul undercard. So, you know, he's doing stuff for exposure of boxing. You know, we got to give him credit where credit is due. But as far as his opposition, personally, nah, it's trash. You know what I'm saying? Him fighting Mike Perry is trash.
Know your fucking place, trash.
Him fighting a 60-year-old geriatric Mike Tyson is trash.
Know your fucking place, trash.
Him fighting a 10-year crack binge, fresh out of rehab, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., who just recently got deported is trash.
Know your fucking place, trash.
That's a fact. He said, I told y'all Baba Schofield be lying. Shout out to Cooking with Sir Senior. You know what I'm saying? He said Jake Paul is a con man and has a bunch of money, so they give him a pass. Yeah, that's part of it. Facts. Money rule the world. You know, so cash rules everything around me. Wu-Tang told us that. You know what I'm saying? Cream get the money. Dollar bill, y'all. Vegas or Riyadh? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, Ty. Vegas or Riyadh for Scooter, man. Leave Japan alone. And I'm not saying that it was anything sabotage, but just, you know what I'm saying, just switch it up. Yeah, you know. Peace of mind type shit. Jake Paul had Hilo on standby for bro, who said Hilo? Hey, Oscar. Hey, Oscar. Nah. I gotta time you out, bro. He said he had Hilo. So I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but those of you that don't know, you don't know Spanish like myself. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Working on my Spanish. My boy Oscar said Jake Paul had Hilo on standby for JCC Jr. So Hilo is Spanish for ICE, and you know ICE is the immigration, you know. Immigration enforcement. He called ICE Hilo, bro. Come on, bro. Y'all gotta chill out, bro. Y'all gotta chill out, bro. Hey, they gonna deport your ICE. They gonna deport your ICE. Hey, man. Everybody gotta keep your head on the swivel, man. Just be safe out there, man. They snatching people up, man. Well, he said Jake Paul had it on standby for JCC. Maybe, I don't know, man, but that's very odd that the man gets deported right after the fight. It's crazy, right? I ain't gonna lie. I think somebody, you know, maybe somebody lost a bet in the very high places and they want to get him up out of there as recompense for not beating Jake Paul. I don't know. But, you know, it's not like he was hiding. The man was on a promotional tour. He fought in front of everybody. And then you tell me 3 days later a warrant gets cleared due to the investigation for his affiliation with the cartel, right? A criminal organization, right? And then he suffers deportation. Come on, man. There's a whole lot of Asians. Organization, affiliation, deportation. Investigation, whole lot of Asians on my boy. Whole lot of Asians on my boy Chavez Jr., man. That's wrong, bro. Y'all wrong, bro. Doc used JCC Jr. jail pick. I had to put up a picture of him looking sad, bro. Looking like he just got caught doing something. Oh, he got caught for sure. Oh, he for sure got caught. Well, what Leonardo DiCaprio say? He said, once it catches your ass, you caught. Hey, shout out to those that know Django like that, man. I know Django by heart. He said, man, you mess with that. Hey, he said, man, you mess with that chocolate thing, boy. Once it catches your ass, you caught. Once it catches your ass, you caught. No, bro, y'all wrong, man. Oh my gosh, Caucasian is crazy. Caucasian is crazy. Y'all wrong. Hold on, is he really deported? Yes. They deported the man after he lost, bro. That's crazy, bro. The man really deported, bro. Y'all keep y'all head on the swivel, man. Shout out to all my black, white, and brown brethren and sister, man. You know, I am a human at the end of the day, man. I'm not saying that people don't deserve it. No matter what side of the fence you're on, you should follow the rules. But at the same time, we should also exercise humanity, man. If you're a human that doesn't demonstrate humanity, then you are subhuman, in my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? You can't be a human without demonstrating humanity. So, you know, whatever, regardless of what side you're on, you know, we can all show a little compassion, you know. But I definitely think that with it being they got it on camera, bro. No, hold on, bro. Y'all ain't see it? Oh, y'all think it's a game. Hold on, let me show y'all, man, because y'all think it's a game. Let me y'all think I'm over here bull jiving. Oh, they think I'm bull jiving, Ty. They think, hey, Mr. Grandy, they think I'm bull jiving. Let me show you how they had my boy hemmed up, man. They free Chavez Jr. It's crazy. Hey, let me show you how they had my boy hemmed up, man. Looking like, gosh dang, what's the dude name? What's the dude name that got arrested for Tupac? Stupid ass. Snitching on himself? Oh, you think it's a game, Ty? Oh, you think it's a game? He said call my lawyer. Oh, you think it's a game? Oh, we running down on you. They put the chains out, chat. They had to pull the chain out, bro. Come on, man. The man got money, man. Come on, man. Saying they nada. Come on, man. Don't do my boy like that, man. Put the chain on him, bro. They can't put the cuffs on. They got to strip him down, too. Man just got out of a fight, man. He ain't got nothing on him, man. He ain't got no contraband, man. Come on, bro. Roping up my boy like that, bro. He got a slave deal, whips, 2 chains. That's wrong, bro. That's not funny, bro. I'm not laughing at the situation because, you know what I'm saying, God bless the brothers and sisters out there get roped up. But I'm just laughing because it's just crazy. Like, he was just in a fight, bro. He was just on the world stage, bro. He was just on a tour. Come on, bro. Nah, man. They rope my boy up like that, man. And then... Excuse me, bro. And then, so you know, so the cartel is supposed to be. Don't get me in the line. I don't remember. My cartel game ain't on point, but the Sinaloa cartel or something like that. So it's an affiliation with a certain cartel, and that same cartel has affiliation with the cartel that snatched up Canelo's brother for ransom back in the day. I don't know if y'all how hip y'all are to boxing, but remember Saul Canelo Alvarez had a brother that was snatched up for ransom. Shout out to him during one of his fights, and apparently it's the same cartel that he's being investigated for having affiliation with Julio Cesar Chavez. So I see people online talking about talking about Canelo getting his get back for when they snatched up his brother, bro. I said, bro, y'all tripping, bro. Hey, that's why, hey, send him in a beast, bro. How you fight with your brother being held for ransom? And shame, you know, shout out to all those people that go through that. You know, there's a lot of brothers and sisters that go through situations like, remember Manu Ginobili had his, I don't remember if it was his uncle or somebody held for ransom during like when they were like in the playoffs. So when Manu Ginobili played for the Spurs, he's Argentinian, right? So Argentina, they snatched up one of his family members. They held him for ransom. And I want to say, I could be making this up, but I want to say it happened to a Cameroonian person too. Like not Francis Ngannou, but some other star from, was it Samuel Eto'o or somebody? Don't quote me, but somebody from I want to say from Cameroon or some African nation. I can't remember exactly what African nation was in a similar situation. So shout out to these people. These people, man, could compartmentalize, you know what I'm saying, and be able to focus on multiple things, man. That's tough. Junior gonna give his daddy a heart. Bro, y'all wrong, bro. No more snow for Chavez. Hey, he said, yeah, pack him up, bro. Nah, y'all wrong, bro. Play the Dave Chappelle Bixby. Go back to your no. Yeah, hey, y'all wrong. Nah, y'all wrong, bro. I'm not. Y'all wrong, bro. Y'all wrong, bro. I'm not going where y'all going. El Chapo. That's El Chapo now. Hey, man, y'all wrong, bro. Y'all wrong, man. Shout out to my boy Chavez, man. Hey, man, you know, don't do people like that, man. The man was, like I said, bro, it's different if they snatched him up and he was hiding or something. Bro, the man was just on tour, man. This has to be something like, it just shows you that everything ain't everything, bro, because, come on, bro, that's convenient, bro. They conveniently snatched him up when the fight is over. Like, that means somebody wanted to get paid first before they did the thing, you know? Like I said, that's business. You can say that's business at play, man, you know? So that's what I'm talking about. They tripping, bro. I'm not laughing with y'all, bro. Y'all ain't gonna get me in trouble, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm for love, man. But hey, at the same time, hey, this is what you voted for. If you voted for Trump, this is what you voted for. You know what I'm saying? Whether you like Trump or not, this is a bill that he has enacted. So all those people coming out with a sad face, like Logan Paul going out there marching, you know what I'm saying? Logan Paul going to Los Angeles and marching, talking about, oh, I'm for people. And then you look up Logan Paul and see that he endorsed Trump. You can't play the fence. You can't be on both sides of the fence, bro. You can't actively. He literally fought for this stuff because that's what you do when you go to the polls and you vote. You're fighting for your rights, right? You're fighting for an administration to implement your ideals that reflect how you feel. You see what I'm saying? So literally, a way of fighting for people's rights is how you vote in the poll. That's what poll is. You know what I'm saying? That's figuratively. Not even figuratively, literally fighting. Because if we fight the other way, they're going to say we're violent, right? So if we go in the street and we protest and we try to fight for real, physically, they're going to say we're violent. So when you want us to fight for our rights as humans, that's what we did when I voted. Look at this conveniently. Look at this conveniently. I got a sticker right here. Not only did I vote, bitch, I voted early. You know what I'm saying? So if you voted for Trump like Logan Paul, and then you want to go out there and march for human rights, bitch, what? What? Like, you should get jumped. They should have jumped him.
You dumbass.
I'm not advocating violence, but I'm just saying they should have jumped him out there in Los Angeles. You telling me that you voted for this, but then out here you're telling me that you don't want this to happen. Nah, bro, you can't have it both ways, bro. That's all I'm damn saying. So I'm not telling you how to vote. You do your thing, man. Shout out to all, you have your right to vote and be happy, do what you feel. But then you can't tell me that you feel bad for the things that are going on in the nation that you live in when you voted for these things to be put in place in the nation that you live in. That's all I'm damn saying. You can't have it both ways. They let him fight and now they're going to get his money. Right. Exactly. They did it by the book. Let the event make the money first, then pull up as soon as his visa expired. Oh man, come on, man. We might have to say goodbye to Cinnamon cow eating ass. Come on, man. Jake Waters' money back. Bro, that's a forfeiture for sure. They confiscating that money because you know what they're gonna say? They're gonna say that money was in somehow connection to the investigation with the cartel. They're gonna act like it's dirty money, and he ain't getting a penny. I mean, he might. I don't know. But I'm just saying, don't be surprised. That's what they do, man. They seize everything. So he may not get no money from that fight. It's crazy. They did the same thing to Edwin De Los Santos. Shout out to my Dominican brethren. That's crazy, bro. So I'm just saying, just keep your eyes open, man. You got Ryan Garcia. And we don't want to talk about Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia, he's out there crying and stuff and saying, oh, yeah, you can't do by people like this or certain people like this. But remember, Ryan Garcia was over there throwing 100 jabs around, or throwing 100 punches around for Trump and them, right? Oh, okay. Yeah, this is what happens when you let ignorant, racist, dumb goofballs vote. They vote for things that they have no clue what they're voting for, and then they start crying about it when shit doesn't end up how they thought it was going to end up. Well, maybe next time you should be aware of what you're voting for, or sit your little stupid dumb behind back at home and be quiet, like dummies should. You know what I'm talking about? Sit down and be quiet and don't vote. You know what I'm saying? Sit down and be quiet like dummies should. You know what I'm saying? You have a right to vote. You're going to exercise that right to vote, then do it. And then this is what you get. You got Ryan Garcia crying, say, oh, you shouldn't do people like this. You shouldn't do people like this. Well, this is what you voted for, dummy. This is what you endorsed, dummy. You just didn't think it was going to happen to you, You thought it was going to happen to just other people. If Bud Ring walk to David Bowie. Hey, what you know about David Bowie, man? Shout out to my guy Pugilist, man. Shout out to my guy Pugilist, man. Shout out to my guy Pugilist, man. He said, dang, something my eye. He said that Bud ring walk to David Bowie, Queen, Under Pressure, Baseline with all the crazy UK. Hey, rest in peace, David Bowie, by the way. And Mexican boxing fans and potential Raider Nation American fans on home turf. Canelo, Bud, and that stadium will be madness. Hey, I love that fight. I got my boy Cinnamon, but I got Cinnamon beating Bud, but shout out to Bud. I think he's a great fighter, man. It's gonna be a great fight. Ryan Garcia thought he was down with Trump, and now he see that he was just a pawn. Come on, Come on, You know what I'm saying? I love people. I don't like bad people. It's always good people versus bad people in my eyes. I don't care what your complexion is. I don't care about your orientation, your religion, your nationality, your ethnicity. I don't care about none of that stuff. If you're a good person, I rock with you. If you're not a good person, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? So Ryan Garcia, fuck you. Ryan Garcia. By the way, you think Berlanga and Shiraz going to keep their deal? That 100,000 that they bet, they both bet 100,000 publicly that the loser would pay out their purse. I'm not gonna lie. If Berlanga win, the terror squad running down on him. I'm talking about he gonna bring Fat Joe, Papoose, and everybody else. You feel me? Remy Ma, she could use it because she hurting right now. From Papoose and Clarissa Shields doing their thing. So yeah, I think if Berlanga win, he gonna run down on Shiraz. You think if Berlanga loses, you think Berlanga gonna pay? Stop it, bro. Berlanga gonna run off on the plug. Shiraz from the UK, man. No disrespect to my UK brethren. I'm not. So let me rephrase that. I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm saying that Berlanga. Where are they fighting again? They're fighting in New York, right? Okay. So what I'm saying is that he's from the UK. He's not from New York. He's not even from America. So why would he pay him? He ain't gonna pay him, man. He ain't gonna. And if he doesn't pay him, it's not like Shiraz has his homies there that could do something about it because they're not in the UK. They're not anywhere where Shiraz is deep. You know what I'm saying? That's the point I'm making. Shout out to my UK brethren. I'm not saying anything that they could be stiffed or anything like that. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying that he's out of his element. Berlanga might pay him, but nah, I don't think. I think if Berlanga pay him, that'd be dope. He should, be a man of your word. You know what I'm saying? In this life, all you have is your word. You feel me? And he initiated the bet, like you said. And he should pay it, be a man of your word, but I don't think he will. No, if Berlanga wins, he's gonna expect the money, but I don't think he wins. He gonna pay. I don't think so, man. I mean, if Berlanga loses, I don't think he's gonna pay. But if he wins, he's gonna expect the money, of course. Didn't they send Berlanga back to Puerto Rico after he started twerking? Hey, bro. Hey, chill out, bro. My boy wasn't twerking, man. He was dodging punches, man. He dodging punches with his booty in the air. He ain't twerking, bro. He dodging punches. He said, wait, did EJ ever pay Bud for the stoppage? I don't know. That's a good question. I never followed up. I don't know. I mean, I'd assume so if he didn't make a big deal out of it. Or maybe he probably just like, man, keep that, man. You know what I'm saying? At least he could do. Go get your eye fixed. Shout out to Spence, man. I like Spence, but Bud probably said, you know what I'm saying? Use it to pay your medical bills, man. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? He said, go ahead and get that surgery, man. Don't worry about it. Go ahead and get you a new whip, you know. You feel me? But yeah, man. Yeah, that's all I got, man. That's all I got for us today, man. I appreciate y'all rocking, man. Hey, y'all be easy and take care, man, and be safe during 4th of July, man. Enjoy your fireworks, enjoy some good cooking, enjoy some family time. But also don't forget to be grateful, you know what I'm saying? And be grateful for the life that we live and the way that we get to live it, you know, the air that we breathe and, you know what I'm saying, time that we have, you know, because, you know, time is not guaranteed, you know, it's not promised, you know, so just be appreciative for the moment of the day and the people that you get to spend it with, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to everybody, man. I appreciate you, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to all my black, brown, white, brethren and sisters and everything in between, you know what I'm saying? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brethren and sisters, ladies and lads, hermanos, mi hermanas, kings and queens, and everything in between, man. Y'all be safe. Take care of yourselves. Don't forget to smack that like button and consider becoming a member, man. Consider becoming a member if you're not already. You feel me? It keeps us going and growing. So consider becoming a member. Thank you. Starting at $3 a month, and you get access to all these perks like these gosh dang emotes. You know what I'm saying? We have the best emotes on for a boxing channel on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? We got the best emotes right here, man. So consider becoming a member. And I appreciate all of the people that are already members, man. Keeps us going and growing. But at the very least, you know what I'm saying? It's free. All you got to do is smack the like button. Smacking the like button is free now. You know what I'm saying? It helps the algorithm push our channel. And if you really like real boxing talk and not that nonsensical, ignorant, unintelligent, incompetent BS that they be kicking over there on that side. We ain't naming no names, but you know what it is. You know what I'm saying? That biased BS. If you want to come to raw, unfiltered, unbiased, facts over fiction, boxing talk, come rock with the doc. You know what I'm talking about? Come rock with the doc, man. I appreciate all the members that have been here since day one, and I appreciate those that are here day two, you know what I'm saying, that are new. So I appreciate y'all rocking as always. Happy 4th of July, Independence Day. Go ahead and eat a burger and a sausage for your boy. Wait, eat a sausage for your boy? We gonna pause that.
No, did he?
Yeah, we gonna pause that. Don't eat a sausage for me. Eat a sausage for you. You know what I'm talking about? Don't eat a sausage for me. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all rocking. Don't forget to smack that like button. Y'all be easy. Take care of yourselves. And shout out to Clone for dropping the graffiti on the chat walls with the super chat with the $5, man. I appreciate that love on the super chat. Y'all be easy. Smack that like button. And remember, with God, we can do anything. Without God, we are nothing. The doctor's out. Peace.
From the hood to college, both worlds they had to meet. 6 degrees between us, so cold we're about to freeze. But we're Florida boys, hot takes, we bring the heat. We're moving the culture, the engineers to the streets.